Hello, welcome. Oh, bang on 8 o'clock, hour and a quarter late, as per the standard of these so far. So, welcome to the final Humble Choice stream for January. Just a quick sort of recap. Started out with PC Building Simulator, could not get into it. If it's your jam, you might. It was just very slow paced for me and just did not like it. Moved into Pathologic 2, looked good, had a lot of hype behind it. I heard it was decent, but it is just a visual novel. It looks like a shitty Slender Man game and it plays awful. I take that back, it looks slightly better than a Slender Man game, but it plays like one. If you're into reading forever, then maybe you'll like it. What did I play next? Tales of the Neon Sea was my next one. A very, very good indie game, which I believe is now making its way to console. So if you own a console and you want to play it, that could be the way to go. I rate that. I'm going to go back and I'm going to finish that in my own time. Probably on my Friday, Saturday streams, although I'm not doing that this weekend. Family commitments. Okay. The next day I went into the big one in the bundle. The big one this time is Ancestors, the Humankind Odyssey. Basically, you're a bunch of apes and you got to try and progress through life and evolve. Looks cool, looks very good, beautiful graphics. But awkward control scheme. I probably didn't give it enough chance. I think I played about 4 hours and I basically just tried to kill myself on repeat because I just saw sweet tigers and snakes and stuff, and I thought, yeah, fuck it, let's mess with them. Let's jump off giant cliffs and try and die. Proved to be my downfall. Did a lot of breeding, but not a lot of progression. One of the boys actually watched me play this game though, and they said it was pretty good. It was good enough watching it that he actually went out and bought it and truly enjoyed it. So, to each their own. Right. What was next? De-leveled was I'll go with De-leveled next. De-leveled is a weird little puzzle game. I didn't last very long playing this because it got incredibly frustrating, but it also makes you feel really intelligent when you finish levels. It is just challenging in the brain, and it is. I recommend just playing it every now and again. I wouldn't block play it. Because you'll go fucking insane. But I actually rate it. It was a lot of fun, and incredibly challenging. And then the other game I played in that same stream was Minoria, game where you played nuns and you chased down witches. I thought this was going to be awful. It sounds awful. It's a little 2D side-scrolling platformer. Fucking fun, man. Quite difficult. I thought it was really difficult until later on when I played another game. I completed this game in the 4 hours. I think I unlocked a couple of modes afterwards to give it a bit of longevity, but yeah, still a lot of fun even though I ended up completing it. Right, after that, what have we got? Warhammer Chaos Bane. I don't even think I made it through their first act. I made it nearly through the first act in my 4 hours. If you like Diablo, and if you're into Warhammer lore, then you'll probably really enjoy this. I liked it, even though I have no idea what the fuck a Warhammer is. It was a lot of fun, and a nice, fairly steep difficulty curve. If you play on hard or something. If you play on normal, then don't worry about it. You can just blindly play. And then one of the boys showed me what in-game content was, gave me a boost, threw me up to the end, gave me some good gear, and I got a little run through of what it feels like in-game. You could see it would get stagnant pretty quick, but not bad. Honestly, not bad. Especially if you're paying, like $20 for a bundle or whatever it is these days. I paid 12. It's pretty good. What else we got? Okay, now this was the big shocker for me in here. Ambassador of the Fractured Timelines. I tried to play this earlier on, and for whatever reason, Streamlabs was fucking up and it wouldn't record it. I gave it another go. I managed to get it, and am very, very thankful that I gave it that extra attempt. Didn't feel true to myself just leaving it without being played. So I gave it a jam. I ended up finishing the game, and my god, it was fucking good, man. How long did I play that? Probably about 6 hours, and I was literally screaming in rage at the end of it. Very, very anger-inducing and hard. It's basically a twin stick. So you move with the left, and you aim and shoot with the right. That's basically it. Bullet hell twin stick. I don't know what you call it. That's what I call it. Fucking hard, man. Incredibly enjoyable. And then when I finished it looked like I unlocked like a fucking harder mode, which is pretty cool. Something I may go back to, probably not, because I was actually fuming with rage and my hand like locked in controller mode, like I was just stuck. I couldn't unblock it for like half an hour. It's pretty sick. Sweet. Which leads me to basically what my last 2 streams were. I played Not Tonight, where you play a bouncer in a very racist Europe post-Brexit. Pretty funny. I mean, the cop, his racism and stuff is probably what brings it along. It's pretty bad to say that racism is what carries a game, but I mean, it's the humor in the racism that is carrying it, and I thought it was a lot of fun. The gameplay itself and the gameplay cycle is boring. It's incredibly tedious. There's really not a lot to it. Yeah, I guess if you like Papers, Please, you might like that. What else do we have? Alright, which moves me into what I did on Monday? Was it Monday? Are we Wednesday now? Yeah, fucking hell. Alright, Monday night I played Total Tank Simulator from the guys that brought you, was it Totally Accurate Battle Simulator? That's the only one I know of. I think they did like a Battleground style game as well, which I have not played, but I've heard okay reviews. I mean, if you're into a little bit of tactics and some really shitty graphics tank fighting, you might like it. I couldn't get in behind the tactics. I'd basically blindly put my troops down and hoped like hell they won. Pretty unrealistic. Pretty just mindless fun, I guess. But not as much fun as Totally Accurate Battle Simulator, where you can put ridiculous things against each other instead of set of tanks A versus set of tanks B, maybe some air support, that sort of shit. And then I quickly moved into Song of Horror. I think I gave that about an hour before I fucking packed it in. Then we moved into Song of Horror, which, besides Ambassador of the Fractured Timelines, would be my second biggest shock in this bundle. Tales of the Neon Sea, it looked okay. It gave me Punch Clubby vibes, so I thought it was going to be pretty decent. If you haven't played Punch Club, by the way, go play that. It's a fucking outstanding game. I might play it again on stream one day because I just fucking loved it. That's like old as shit now, though. Anyway, what was I saying? Song of Horror. I played Song of Horror on Monday night. Pretty cool, man. My very first horror game I played. Damn. A lot of atmosphere. And I wouldn't say it's scary, but it makes you feel something. It makes you tense anyway, on edge the entire time. And when you do things wrong, like open a door without listening through it, you just want to punish yourself because you're a fucking idiot and you're going to die. But most of the time you don't. I didn't even make it through Act 1 because I got stuck at this little bit at the end and fuck knows what I was doing. I died intentionally a number of times just because it looked interesting the way to die. But outside of those deliberate times, I didn't actually die. They were very obvious what would happen. But very cool. So I rate that game really highly. So much so that when I give up on this game, which I know nothing about yet other than it's a visual novel, I'm probably going to go back and play that for the rest of the stream. Because I actually really got into that. Unfortunately, if you end up watching me play it, it's very slow going. And it's a lot of trying to work out where piece A goes and running back and forward between the same building. Like, different rooms, running back and forward, slowly solving the puzzle. But it's fun for me, and it's tense, keeps me on edge, so I'm going to do that. But for today, anyway, what a fucking yarn. What are we, 11 minutes in? We've got Vampire the Masquerade Shadows of New York. The visual novel version of Vampire the Masquerade, which I've heard is actually pretty good. But this does not look it. But we will see. I've been surprised already. We'll see what happens. I hope you're into fucking reading text. Or me reading it out loud at you in horrible voices. New game! Middle one. Disgusting. Yeah, good. I was really hoping they'd read it to me. Welcome to my castle. I have to click the hand even. Don't expect everyday logic to work here. It went out the window sometime after midnight, maybe earlier. My kingdom is not of this world. You see, it lies far outside of concrete, tangible reality. I've tried to identify the way people reach it, and am convinced it has something to do with the moon. Some say the moon's aura can... Jeebus! Might turn that down. Some say the moon's aura can turn them insane. You've heard the phrases moonstruck and lunatic. The way I see it, moonlight gives them some subliminal permission to reveal their true selves. And so whenever they let the silver radiance guide them to the gates of this place, they feel different. Once they pass the doorstep, they're ready to act out. A dance of horrors and marvels begins. It's 3:31 AM. Welcome to Big Beat Burger. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly... Fuck me, I've got to change that. If you're here at this hour, you're not exactly reading up to be a productive member of society come tomorrow morning. More likely, you're praying that the sunrise never comes. Can I... Yes, text speed standard. Insatiable children of the night gather round hoping to bask in the afterglow. Damn! Gonna go slow. Hoping to bask in the afterglow of tonight's victories, unwind after a frustrating series of failures, or simply fight to keep themselves together. Meanwhile, I'm just sitting here greedily reveling in every interaction they have no idea they are only here for my amusement. To them, I'm just a random girl sitting in the corner. Fantastic. Slow. But this is... Oh my god, now it's so slow. But this is my domain. I've been coming here almost every night for years. I know where to sit, where to look, and where to eavesdrop for maximum amusement. I'm basically a voyeur, and unashamed to admit it. It gave me insight about the human condition I'd never otherwise have gathered, and more importantly, a necessary skill set to make ends meet as a journalist. As I write on my crappy old laptop, patiently waiting for the legion of negative voices in my head to get too tired to offer useless feedback, I keep my senses peeled to pick up stories around me. Of course, a lot of regular events such as food fights are nothing to write home about, aside from my unfortunate tendency to become collateral damage in someone else's battles. Up to this day, I've had to wash my clothes because of Coke, Diet Coke, hot coffee, apple pie, and some sort of improvised honey mustard bomb. Every stain tells a different story. Sometimes this hobby is exhausting, sometimes it's disturbing, sometimes it's dangerous, although not as risky as back when I wasn't carrying pepper spray. Still, the sights I've taken in over the years here have made it absolutely worth it. I've got so many stories, I don't know where to begin. Theatrical breakups, impromptu morning parties, unexpected friendships forged in the fires of senseless battle. A lady in a gorgeous Givenchy dress, ordering a box of takeout chicken nuggets, paying in cash with her hands completely covered in blood. She was asked if she wants a napkin. She said no. Two thirsty macho dudes shamelessly going for it in the corner, hushed moaning, filling the lobby while everyone around valiantly fights to act as usual and maintain an illusion of normalcy. What do you mean going at it? Going for it. That could mean anything. A straight up kung fu fight between a diminutive cashier and some drugged bodybuilder going through a psychotic episode trying to break all the windows. Oh, I've got enough of these now, come on. The big guy left the joint fully convinced he KO'd himself while the service worker was just standing next to him. Seemed proud of his victory too. A middle-aged hag getting a heart attack after screaming her lungs out not to let Muslims near her food just because she saw a white girl wearing a hairnet behind the counter. Okay. Come on, how many examples do I need? A masked couple robbing the restaurant of 30 hamburgers, forcing the employees to cook at gunpoint. Police later said those were art students reenacting some hipster book they read. This is life. This is humanity at its worst and best. This is the noise that serves as the foundation for my creativity. This is the soma that keeps me going. This is Sigh. As pathetic as it may sound, these days, this is the only place where I feel alive. Sometimes I think of myself as a leech, feeding on those people's stories, emotions, and personalities just because I'm not satisfied with mine. At times I think of my psyche as some kind of shitty postmodern construct that is fundamentally incapable of honesty, but only yearns for something felt and truthful. Does this even make any sense? I look at the screen of my laptop, 3:47 AM. At this point, I'm almost... damn. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Somnambulic? But nothing interesting has happened yet. Feels like all the customers are watching each other tonight, hoping for the others to provide a fun diversion. This is my turf, you parasitic douchebags. Next time, go find your own. I think it's time to call it a night. The coffee I always order so that they don't kick me out is undrinkable. I reread the rough draft I've been working on for the last 6 hours. God damn, this is pure trash. I held the backspace button until the Google Documents page is nothing but calm white slate and let out a sound of deep relief. There's no pleasure more intoxicating for a frustrated writer than ragging on someone even worse than them, and what target is easier than the dumb bitch you used to be 10 minutes ago? I check the time again. I need to go. I have an important meeting tomorrow at 10 AM and I have a hunch it's not going to end well. And it's not because I'm an irresponsible dumbass who's going to need a few cups of coffee to simply function on a basic level, despite like 4 hours of sleep. It's because I always have a hunch things are not going the way they're supposed to. Click, clack, click, click, clack. The loud clatter of keyboards assaults me from all sides, makes the splitting headache unbearable. Used to be, I dreamed of nothing else but being a part of the New York Lodestar editorial team. It was the first magazine I started reading regularly, the first magazine I ever bought for myself. Now simply hearing the word Lodestar is enough to ruin my mood, never mind seeing all these old farts phoning in more reactionary opinion columns and Wikipedia level analyses of current events. Click, clack, click, click, clack. They used to destroy and rebuild my entire worldview every month. They shaped my thinking about politics, art, journalism. They even pointed me toward my favourite cigarette brand, for God's sake. Then some talented people started leaving for greener pastures. Some got too wrapped up in their own neurosis that some became complacent. All of them committed the sin of allowing themselves to grow older. Fresh blood was deemed unnecessary, even though young freelancers kept being bled dry. These days, whenever someone from outside Lodestar talks about Lodestar, it's because of a few idealistic contributors willing to accept meager pay while putting in serious work. Dumb asses. Other than that, the magazine specialises in publishing pale echoes of provocative ideas I heard somewhere else a few years prior, wrapped in an aesthetic that hasn't been cutting edge for a decade. No wonder the readership is in freefall, but even though the ship is sinking, the old guard won't let it go down without a fight. As in, if anyone from the outside attempts to board the vessel in hopes of fixing its course or its holes, they will be swiftly taken care of. I should know, been there, done that. As it stands, the only full-time staff member who doesn't make me regularly attempt to cringe my face off with his writing, Brian, is Lodestar's editor-in-chief, Brian. The man sitting in front of me right now. Of course, he only has time for editorials these days, a drop in the sea of needs. Managerial duties hit him hard. It's the second time he lets out a theatrical cough like this. He said his piece, now it's up for me to react, and I'm coming up blank. But what do you want me to say, Brian? I'm pissed off. I can tell you've already made up your mind, but you still want to go through the motions just to make me feel listened to. Whatever, let's do this. What? How in the Right, okay, so it looks like the dialogue options aren't me choosing anything that I know anything about. It's literally picking the path. Fraud. My article isn't even something like lashing out at the rich and hoping they don't hit back. I think Double Spiral's investors would appreciate being told they're being scammed. Oh, much like those boys who've invested in GameStop. That's if, and that's a big if, they're not a conscious part of the scam. Oh, come on! And even if they weren't, I doubt they'd be generous enough to protect us from the fallout. You're avoiding the core of the issue. No, I believe I pinpointed it in a precise way. If it were up to me, I'd greenlight the article here and now, and we wouldn't be having this conversation. But you're killing the article just because some rich shithead told you he doesn't like it. Get real, this is not about some millionaire jerk calling me to make me an offer I can't refuse. What is this about then? Because it looks awfully like. It's about my bosses telling me this outlet can't afford the legal action we have already been threatened with. So millionaire interference. What? Much like GameStop. Oh, for crying out loud, Julia, don't make me treat you like a child. You know how this works. I publish your story, it's Teal vs. Gawker all over again. A lawsuit here, a lawsuit there, until we're bled dry. I have a mortgage, I have 3 mouths waiting to be fed at home, I have an amazing team that doesn't deserve to be torn apart. There's probably more to that. Don't you think it's telling you... mentioned your mortgage first. Just asking questions. I know better than to get into these empty semantic arguments with you, Miss Sawinski. You're good at them. The problem is you're still not good enough. Meaning? You're too in love with weaving a good story and establishing a seductive narrative to let facts get in the way. You've got enough boring stooges with no principles on board these days. They always give you facts because that's all they can do. I'm using facts as a way to approach some kind of truth. Except facts can blindside you, and Double Spiral has enough facts to water down your story to the point where it makes no sense to publish it. Their HR and PR are working overtime to deliver a convincing counter-narrative, and they're doing a great job, potentially like buying silver, right? Won't mitigate the damage completely, but will put every little thing in question. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Right? Julia? Let me say it again. Jesse Montgomery is a racist, a fraud, a sexual predator, and a downright satanic fuckhead. Do you personally believe it or not? This is not... You've listened to the tapes, you've read the transcripts, you've seen the documents, you've got the files. I'm asking for your personal opinion. Do you believe it or not? Click, clack, click, clack, click. Of course I do, but that's beside the point. It's not. Look, how about I just say it out loud and save us both some time? We're not having this conversation because there's an actual conversation to be had. You set up this meeting knowing very damn well there's only one way it's going to end. You've got a mortgage and 3 mouths to feed. You prioritise the well-being of your direct surroundings over some nebulous concept of greater good. I get it, I really do. Yet for some reason it seems like you're only prolonging this conversation and rationalising your decision so that I forgive you? Officially exonerate you? I'm not the bad guy here, Julia. So what are you? What are you then, in your own words? A man who does what is necessary to protect his own. So I don't count as your own anymore. Mutters something under his breath, ending with a self-pitying chuckle. I don't know if you'd even want to work under a scumbag like me from now on. Oh, come on. Don't turn this into a pity party. No, I'm absolutely a scumbag. And why is that? Because I'm firing you. My thoughts are scrambled. For a brief moment, the state of my bank account displays before my eyes with startling clarity. A howling void opens in my chest and starts travelling towards my stomach. Nope, don't panic yet, you idiot. Get more information now. There must be a catch. You all fucking joking. Oh, I get it. You're just kidding. I'm a jerk here, but not that much of a jerk. No way. You're going to say it's just a prank. I know you. This isn't you. This isn't me. It's them. What them? Who's them? He glances left and right and then points upward for a short moment. When he speaks up again, it's in a hushed voice. You know, the big kahunas. Can't really question them, and they wanted your head on a silver plate. He's not looking me in the eye. You're not joking. As I said, I would never joke about stuff like this. Okay, it's real. Fucking hell, it's real. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, all to hell. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what? Fucking asshole. You know, what the fuck does that even say? Hold on. All these years, all this grind, all my plans, and for what fucking asshole? You know, I deserve better, and I always deserve better, and it always ends with me going down the drain, back to the sewers. Fuck. No. Take a few deep breaths. Don't lose the plot now. Keep yourself together, you idiot. The moment you show weakness, they go for your throat. Get back in control. You can't do this. I wish I didn't have to, but it's a lost cause. No, I mean, it's impossible. Yulia, you can't fire someone who's never been hired in the first place. Takes him a few seconds to put on his, oh, I get it, face. Lets out a troubled gasp and starts massaging his temples. Lodestar has been my biggest source of income for the past few years, that much is true, but technically, Nobody's ever hired me here. It was all freelance jobs. A full-time position only served as a kind of dangling carrot, a promise of a decent pay grade, career perspectives, maybe even some kind of insurance to save my failing health, and the recognition I would get for being a part of the Lone Star team, a position that everyone around me seems to respect, aside from me. Then why did I want it so much? There will be time to mourn what could have been. For now, I should act like I don't care. You know what I mean. If I let you work, even under a fake name, it would be a guillotine for me. This is ridiculous. You know I'm going to start shopping this story around the second I leave this room, don't you? Of course I know. I told them. Any response? Let us worry about that. Oh, that doesn't sound ominous at all. Click, clack, click, clack, click. I do wonder if I could get accustomed to one of these loud mechanical keyboards some people here love to use. Whenever I did my work in here, I was still expected to bring my own crappy laptop and sit closer to the lobby. Always on the outside, no matter how hard I try to break in. A vibration in my back pocket. Feels like a bad omen. I decide to ignore it for now. I've been working on this fucking story for, I don't know, 16 months on and off. I know. You keep cheering me on. I know. We've even agreed on the pay I'd receive. I know. I'm 2 months behind on my rent. No, wait, 2.5. I catch him off guard. He's momentarily taken aback and then gives me an empathetic stare. Don't you look at me this way. You don't have the right. I didn't know. Well, now you do. Look, if there's anything I can do to help. If you can't tell your big kahunas to fuck off, I don't think there's a single thing. Julia. I pull out a smoke and light it up. I gotta get back in control. Please don't do that. There's a smoke detector here. No worries. Nick turned it off a few weeks ago. Probably the most creative thing he's done in the past 5 years. Good old Nick. Perfect 21st century cinema reviewer. Never has an original thought of his own. Just relies on his purely funny. What's this say? Purely. I used to dream about his job. Oh, I fucking skipped something, didn't I? Funny, I used to dream about his job. It was Brian who killed this dream, making me realise Nick won't be unseated anytime soon and offered to teach me the ways of an investigative journalist instead. Wasn't the career I ever wanted to pursue, but to my dismay I turned out to be surprisingly good at it until this Montgomery thing happened. Serves me right, lesson learned, should have pursued my dreams instead. Stop it, Nicholas is a good friend, a respected critic, a member of my team, and put out that smoke. People tell me I let you step all over me. Why do I even let you act this way? Because you once told me honesty is most important in a mentor-student relationship, and that it works both ways, and because I thought we were friends. He bites his lip and stares sideways to avoid my eyes. At the end of the day, bosses aren't friends. Must have been a terrible mentor if I didn't even teach you that. The best I can do for now is just stay silent. I don't feel too stable right now, like I could explode any second. Julia, I might have failed as a guide, but I will do what I can not to leave you stranded, okay? There are options. None of them... Fucking scroll! Wait a second! Another vibration in my pocket, another foreboding feeling. This time I reluctantly take the smartphone out of my pocket. If it has to rain, why not let it pour? A new email. It's a lengthy one. And the sender? Speak of the devil. No, no, no. This can't be. Christ. I just got an email from Mia Lopez. She claims she's just been laid off from Double Spiral, same as Mike Antonov and Jared Rivera. What? What happened? I'll spare you all the insults, okay? The key thing is it seems the HR knows all the confidential information about my journalistic investigation and used it to shut everyone's mouth. Hell, apparently Montgomery walked up to Lopez as she was emptying her desk and told her to thank me for being a, quote, dumb and careless cunt. Brian goes pale. I think he has a very good reason to. You fucking scumbag. You outed my sources? Well, of course not. What are you even saying? Don't you dare play coy. Must have been either you or me, no one else, and you know the way I work. My investigation was basically untraceable, both on and offline. Carefully picked meeting spots, encryption upon encryption, every direct quote written 5 times, just in case. All sorts of red herrings scattered around. I know my shit, you know I do. And this timing? Did you just pass a flash drive to your beloved Big Kahunas during a meeting as a sign of goodwill? Look, I get you're upset, but why don't we just talk it through calmly? Okay, let's take it step by... Fuck you! Fury takes the wheel and I'm just here along for the ride. I can't do anything about it. In a deranged way, realizing you're just a passenger in your own body feels liberating. Let's just see it all unfold. Calmly? Fuck you, Brian. Julia! I've been paranoid for months and months, acting like everyone I didn't know was an assassin or a corporate spy. I know I haven't messed up, not in a way that would implicate all of them. You, goddamn, you thought you could get away with this. I haven't done anything improper. Don't push the blame on me. So what? You're claiming it's my fault? Because you're never the guilty one? It's always the bosses, the economy, the obligations you have, and now me? You're being silly. Quit with this martyr bullshit. Calm down or I'll have to. You immoral shithead. You motherfucker, calm down for God's sake. And so it goes. I yell out a lot of words I wanted to say for a long time but held back. I fling a lot of insults I've been workshopping for years, hoping I'd never use them. I break a few things. At times for a split second I see pity in somebody's eyes. It's going to haunt me for a long time, but in the heat of the moment I don't care. These people know this company has nothing left to offer me, so at least let me take this catharsis. In the end, a security guard has to escort me out of the building, and that's the end of my journalistic career. I just feel like my world has crumbled into nothing. I mean, you have every right to. Like, Jesus, if I were you, I would have already broken down into a sobbing mess. I'd love to, but I'm on a subway, far too proud to cry in public, even now. And? It's stupid, but I feel like someone out there keeps destroying everything I hold dear just to see my reaction. Like it was a prank show, and someone was waiting to record me crying. So out of sheer spite, I'm doing my best not to cry. Fuck you, whoever and wherever you are. That's the most Julius Sawinski thing I've heard. Spite as the greatest motivator, huh? Not feeling particularly motivated to do anything right now, to be honest. I just want to stay in my bed until my shithead landlord calls the cops to forcefully evict me. I'm not surprised shit. I know that whatever life decides to fuck you over, whenever life decides to fuck you over, it's always one thing after another, but this is too much. How much is too much? Let's recap the last week of June 2019. Please don't recap shit. I've been kicked out of my job. Well, not that I've ever been hired, so let's just say my mentor broke every vague promise he ever made to me. A big thing I'd been working on for a year and a half went down the toilet. It's all useless. My boss didn't protect my sources properly, and now they keep trying to reach me through every possible channel to threaten me or just yell at me. And they have every right to react like that. All of my side gigs were shut down. Nobody's replying to my emails. Someone's been dragging my name through the mud behind the scenes, and it's worked. I still have no idea who's sending these shitty messages around. I've been asking, but listen, don't worry about it. I'm not going to stand idly by and watch you get cancelled by some mean-spirited delusional. I said don't worry about it. I have 300 messages from my landlord. The message previews were stressful enough. A call came from Chicago. Apparently Dad has bladder cancer. Mum is in hysterics. She'd go crazy if she heard about my situation, so I should pretend everything is okay whenever she calls. And she calls every day, and she just won't hang up before she offloads all her burdens on me, and I can't blame her, because we all had to learn to cope with Dad's psychopathic tendencies somehow. I was robbed, all my documents and what little money I had gone. Don't even know when or where it happened, and it's driving me crazy because I'm always extremely wary of pickpockets. The list goes on. I don't want to sound paranoid, but it really feels like a concerted attack. Paranoid is good. Anyway, I know you always hand wave this topic away, but just remember that if anything happens, my place is your place. You don't have to get through it alone. I do. I've been a trouble magnet, and as self-centered as I may be, I don't want to affect you. I know. Listen, I have another call. Alright, just call me if anything happens, no matter how dumb it seems, okay? And swing by whenever you can. I will. Thank you. See you. I put my phone away, exhale, and blankly stare in front of me. Christ. I glance at my reflection in the window. Just look at this idiot. Whenever the situation requires me to dress formally, I still feel as though I should have just followed the dress for the job you want advice and continued dressing up like a trust fund kid who keeps partying on Brooklyn rooftops for years without a care in the world. It's only after a while that I realize the car is empty, unnaturally so. I start feeling uneasy, but someone enters my peripheral vision. And that's the last thing I consciously register. The world dissolves. When I come to, I'm out of the subway, standing in a back alley I don't recognize. It's pretty dark, my eyes start adjusting and I try to figure out what happened. There's a gun in my hand. A faint silhouette at my feet. It's not moving. Somebody stands in front of me, covered in shadows. I can't fully make out her face, but she's staring at me with visible intent. She speaks. Her voice is raspy and androgynous, her tone hateful and mocking. Aren't you a nasty one? What is going on? Who are you? Don't play coy. My mind goes blank. I look at the ground. There's a body riddled with bullet holes, and I recognize who it is. Was. The corpse belongs to Mike Antonoff, one of the double spiral whistleblowers, my source. He was just threatening to get back at me a few hours ago. Before I can feel even the tiniest bit of compassion, I face a terrible realization. They're going to think I'm guilty. Oh my god, am I guilty? How is this real? What happened to him? Listen, what happened to this guy? This guy? Again, don't play coy. You knew him. He was mad at you. You started telling him sob stories about your situation. He wasn't having none of it. You got mad, things escalated, he died. This isn't true. It's plausible, but that doesn't make it true. Or does it? This is just a nightmare. I skipped that. And if it isn't the person in front of me, it must be responsible. There's a faint voice in my head screaming that it's her world, that I'm just living in it. What the fuck have you done to me? Nothing yet, but I'll do what I can to get you locked up for life. This is a murder in the first degree with special circumstances. What the fuck? Her detached voice and nonsensical tone only reassures me this can't be real. I refuse to believe it is. Before I even manage to think this through, I point the gun at her. If I did murder him, you wouldn't be acting like that. You wouldn't be standing in front of me. You'd be running away, calling the police, begging for help, yelling that I'm a psycho. Oh, you are a psycho, but I'm not a coward. I won't let you walk out of here alive. This doesn't make a single lick of sense. Tears well up in my eyes. Why are you doing this? Because sometimes one has to confront what they're really made of. There's no two ways about it. She's got to be nuts. Slowly but surely she starts walking toward me. Stop right there or I'll shoot. Go on, it's the only way you can get off the hook. Isn't it? The only way you can survive? But you'll definitely prove you are the monster I claim you are. What the fuck is this tone? So controlling, inauthentic, patronizing. I'm serious. For your own sake, you'd better be. She keeps getting closer. Maybe I did kill Antonov. Maybe I don't deserve to live. Maybe it's less tiring not to live. Maybe I should just let her take care of me. Maybe I'll just wake up. Or maybe this insane reality needs to be rejected as violently as possible. Maybe a world that wants to destroy me deserves to be destroyed. She's right in front of me. It's now or never. Pull the fucking trigger. I close my eyes and squeeze the trigger. A loud bang echoes through the alley. I'm afraid to look at what I've done. I've been to a shooting range once and felt absolutely horrified by pistols. Such a small thing, but it can easily puncture a hole in the fabric reality is made of. Never knew I'd be able to use it against another human being. The very thought makes me want to puke. You were a right choice after all. I'm so glad. You haven't allowed yourself to break, but you've crossed the line I needed you to cross. There's a silent flame in you that could become an inferno if left unchecked. I sure hope it will. She's still alive. Her voice is coming from behind me? She puts her hands around my waist and her cold mouth touches my neck. I can feel my shirt getting violently torn off. I don't understand, but I'm too dazed to protest. That was your final test. Congratulations, you have proven yourself worthy. I can feel something sharp sliding into my neck. It's not too painful, just startling. Think a doctor pushing a needle into your vein without a proper warning. Then it hits me. Pure bliss. The dopamine receptors I've considered completely fried until now suddenly recover and start bombarding me with pleasure I haven't experienced in a long time. I finally let the tears go. They come flooding. They've been waiting for years. It's such a relief. Is it raining? I feel like I'm in the middle of a deluge at least, washing away all of my fears, all of my sorrows, all of my anger, all of my pain, all of my ego. I become one with the world and the woman behind me. She's holding me tight, making me feel like the only important thing in this world. Everything else blurs. I feel something intense towards her. Something I've never felt before. Is this love? I hope it is. This is not you, hisses a familiar, cynical voice in the back of my mind. But it's okay. I never felt particularly fond of me anyway. New York, you're perfect. Oh, please don't change a thing. He who laughs in the shadows always has the last laugh. Hallelujah, praise be. When everything is cliche, nothing is. Isn't that the ever-distant utopia I've been chasing all along? People on the other trains? I hope you're doing fine. God, shut up. Just enjoy it. You finally understand. She's making love to me. She's giving birth to me. She's burying me. I'm pretty sure I've been dead for a while. I'm pretty sure I could stare at my own corpse in her hands from a distance for a moment somehow. And then I'm alive again. She lifts her mouth from my neck. No, wait. I taste blood in my mouth. Was I drinking her blood too? I realise that whatever this was, it's over and I have to bask in the afterglow while I still can. Heh, that's what Ed Sheeran's on about. I also immediately understand that I'm going to chase this fleeting feeling for the rest of my existence. Finally, she lets out a whisper, which concludes the ceremony. No matter what happens next, don't forget, you're a monster. But you are lucky enough to be born into a world of monsters, so don't you ever mourn this fact. Embrace it. Welcome to Vampire the Masquerade. Fuck. Once again, I find myself in Big Beat Burger. Familiar surroundings, faces I recognise, mood same as it ever was. Still, I process it in an entirely different way. It all frustrates me now, or more precisely, makes me frustrated with myself. It's like I'm clinging to the remnants of a cocoon I've outgrown. Ugh. It's the same with these cigarettes. I don't need them anymore, so why do I keep holding on to them? Fucking hell, it's like I refuse to accept that it's something better than I used to have. A vampire. Just 2 nights ago, I met Karen. She embraced me, by which I mean turned me into a kindred. She calls herself my sire and me her child. Last night she taught me the basics of survival, drinking blood, manipulating humans, bending steel, controlling shadows. Tonight I expected more lessons, instead she just told me to go out and enjoy myself. What's the catch, I asked, to which he responded, I might kill you if you prove to be a disappointment. There are a few rules. I have to uphold the Masquerade. I can't contact anyone I knew as a human. I can't let anyone realize I'm not human anymore. I can't embrace anyone, and so on. Otherwise, I'm free to do whatever I want. But for some reason, the first thing I did was come back here. Old habits die hard, I guess. Karen is probably watching me from somewhere, even now. The way I understand it, tomorrow night she is supposed to introduce me to Camarilla, a local society of vampires. Turns out they are the ones who have been systematically ruining my life lately, all a part of some secret evaluation that I barely passed. Just imagining the reach they have makes me dizzy. After they destroyed the old me that I barely cared about, Karen rebuilt me anew. On one hand, her test left some scars that will take time to heal. On the other hand, maybe I should just be grateful. I'm snapped out of my thoughts by a sudden scream. Some douchebag yelling about his french fries not being salty enough. I think this is my cue to leave, permanently. Goodbye, BBB. Hope I never see you again. I'm destined for greater things, you see. Meathead bully and his unfortunate victim. I probably shouldn't interfere, but what better chance could I find to test what I've become? Time to swing a little more on the devil's dance floor. The club beckons. Tinder addict smells like a bit of a loser, a wannabe intellectual, a perfect source of nourishment. Yeah, let's kill the Tinder fuck. He lowers his eyes awkwardly, thinking how to proceed with his rant. So it's like the conversation isn't really smooth, yeah? It's like keep throwing a shit against the wall and seeing what sticks, but nothing seems to stick for long. You understand, yeah? Yup. Yeah. It's really this lack of context that's killing me about online dating. It's bad enough when a few photos in a single sentence are all you have to rely on when starting a conversation, yeah? But when a cosmic miracle finally happens and she's actually willing to keep replying to you and she's actually down to meet up eventually and you're out there sitting with her, and after 90 minutes you still don't have that shared context, just no clue whatsoever, it's just like take me out and put a bullet in my head and put me out of my misery. I hear you, pal. So it's just one of those dates, and it's like we've been sitting here for ages, and the only thing she has a prolonged interest in is getting as hammered as possible, just one drink after another. Is he talking about a previous date? And the more drunk she is, the more familiar she's getting. It's these little things, you know, touching my upper arm after each joke, her arm around my shoulder, her jokingly punching my waist. This escalation is subtle but steady. In addition, one recurring topic appears, and that is all the cool shit she has and wishes she could have shown me. Oh, too bad, it's all back in her apartment. That's when it hits me. She just wants to fuck. Sleep with me. This is what happens with Tinder, pal. Yeah, when you meet someone on Tinder, this happens sometimes. Yeah, well, eventually we both run out of ideas for topics that could potentially be interesting to the both of us. So I'm just like, yeah, I'd sure love to see all that crap in your apartment. So we Uber there, and it's admittedly a pretty nice apartment. Like, nothing too fancy, but I can tell her dad is the kind of asshole I'd like to punch in the face if I even met him. You know what I mean? So she guides me to the kitchen and makes me some tea. A rare Indian blend. Forget what it was 5 minutes later. 10 minutes later, I run out of tweets to read and become a little concerned. I start looking around. The first thing catches my eye is the kitchen table. The table is surprisingly large, and it's covered in neatly arranged documents, like some connect-the-dots investigation board, mafia conspiracy kind of thing. Naturally, I take interest. It takes me 20 seconds to process what it is. Her entire mental health history, sorted chronologically, with all the juicy stuff neatly underlined in colour. And I mean entire, it's all there. What's up, man? A detailed description of her fucked up household situation over the years, anxiety, ADHD, bouts of depression, suspicions of schizophrenia, severe BPD, some weird psychosexual stuff with her brother. Okay. What are you doing, step bro? I keep reading and remember what I said about throwing shit against the wall and seeing what sticks. I'm dead certain that's how her shrinks went about diagnosing her. She finally comes out of the bathroom like an hour after she went in. At this point, I've read all the shit on the table 3 times, and not just the stuff she's highlighted for my convenience. And I feel like right now I understand her better than like someone who's read Crime and Punishment understands Raskolnikov. And I'm not happy about that, like at all. You know what I mean? Yep. She walks in with a cheerful hi. I respond with a slick all good. She nods to this weird finger gun thing and chuckles. fuck, it keeps skipping dialogue. The small talk starts. A minute in, she casually picks up one of the documents on the table and she starts doing these super obvious body language cues that are like, oh no, how did this get here? I'm practically dying inside, but I put on my cool face and make it look like I'm not here. Sorry, I gotta reply to my boss. Yeah, he's working 24/7. Psycho motherfucker, yeah, haha. She slowly collects all the documents, puts them away, and then nonchalantly asks me something about Tame Impala while I'm feeling crushed by all the kinds of trauma I've just learned about. The apartment starts feeling like a coffin. All of a sudden, she picks up a kitchen knife and starts playing with it with this zoned out stare. I'm fucking mortified. So what do you think I did? Slept with her. Of course I slept with her. That's how the worst 6 months of my life began. I couldn't even say I didn't see it coming. God, I'm such a slut. He leans back and groans while hiding his face behind his palms. I look at his neck. Every vein seems so visible and impossibly alluring. I don't think I ever looked at anyone's neck like that. I realize I feel insanely thirsty. Damn. I know. You sure took a turn. Years ago when this rant began, it was about continental philosophy. What? Sorry, can you say that again? He's pretty drunk, barely able to focus on anything but his current train of thought. Just what I was hoping for. Years ago, when this... Never mind. Listen, it's stuffy in here. I want to go out and get some fresh air. You haven't touched your drink. I mean, I would if I could. No more alcohol for me. What? Nah, this one's not mine. I mean, some dude bought it for me, but I don't want it. He scans the room with a death stare, looking for the guy who did it, not realizing his best chance of finding him is in a mirror. Then he drinks like a half of my glass at once, while looking around as if he was hoping to prove his dominance over an unseen enemy. Okay, after you. We're walking across a mostly empty street. He's focused on keeping upright and walking in a straight line. I'm focused on finding a spot where I can drink him up. You seem like bad news. Yeah? So why don't you just leave me alone? Determinism, I guess. I roll my eyes, and that's when I notice a deep underlit stairwell. I look around and realize there's no one around. This is my chance. I immediately yank him downstairs. It's almost pitch black, but I can still see his face. He doesn't seem shocked. It's more like awkwardness. Now listen, it's not that I never wanted to do this sort of thing in public. Quite the opposite. It's just that I need a certain degree of comfort to perform at optimal levels. Oh, shut up. I sink my fangs inside his neck as he whimpers and becomes silent. Finally, that's what I've been waiting for the past hour. He relaxes in my arms and I relax with him. It's like all the drinks I had to deny myself until now are hitting my head all at once with no unpleasant side effects. I feel radiant. I don't want this moment to end, but it has to. I drop his body to the floor and lick the wound closed, just the way she taught me. His pulse is faint but steady. He reeks of booze. If anyone finds him, there should be no suspicions. As I walk up the stairwell, I insert a finger into my mouth and try to sense my fangs. No dice. It seems they really are retractable. That's handy. The hunger pangs are gone. I rub my hands around my body. I feel comfortable, hopeful, happy. Can't remember the last time I enjoyed life like this. Now let's keep this party going. I feel like I want to leave the club till last. Two men are facing each other in a dark back alley. One of them stands with his back against the wall, his chest heaving as he's struggling to catch his breath. People, anybody out there? I'm being robbed. A brawny, rugged guy is yelling at metal staircases with a theatrical incredulity in his voice. With a lively step, he dances around an older man who's having trouble finding his footing. What is this bullshit? Oh, so now you can talk. Good, because I'm dying to hear what you did with my wallet, Holmes. Wallet? I have no idea what you're talking about. The goon starts prancing around like a Muay Thai boxer. He's smiling, but his eyes send a clear message. You're cornered, buddy. Don't even try to pull a fast one on me. Come on, homeboy. You may be able to trick an average Joe on the street with your act, but a fighter recognizes a fighter. It's like an animal thing. It's an instinct thing. You got some moves on you. You're like shit. You're like a black mamba. Lightning fast reflexes. You start shadowboxing for a moment. The man's definitely got energy to spare. However, I'm like a king cobra. You've met your match. Two apex predators now locked in battle. Oh, so you're seeing snakes. That would explain something. Before he's able to finish, a sucker punch knocks the air right out of his lungs. The old man slides down the wall. Before he can let out a groan, he's interrupted by a brutal kick to the chest. That's what I'm talking about, a fighting spirit, even when you're cornered. Ugh. Take a seat, deep breath, collect your thoughts before you speak up again. Remember where you put my wallet now? I'm pretty sure you broke my rib. An eye for an eye, a rib for a ribbing. Biblical punishment. It's only fair, homie. Fair? At least admit that this is a mugging. Wallet my ass. Still in denial. Okay, let's say I had about $5,000 in there. Give me $6,000 and I'll let you walk away. relatively unharmed. So you admit it. Admit what? That this is not about proper compensation. This is a robbery. Look, buddy, this is beginning to bore me. Unless you want me to go all Anderson Silva on your ass, give me what I want. Anderson Silva? Yeah, Anderson Silva. Flying knee, meeting his solar plexus. The man, the myth, the legend. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Thai boxing, Western boxing, Taekwondo, Wing Chun, and Capoeira combined into a single fighting style that can be only described as straight-up murder. I've been studying the glorious singularity that is Anderson Silva for years. Every move I have, I owe to him. So if you don't want the snake to turn into a deadly spider, show me the money, honey. Summer 2013, Las Vegas. Huh? Watched it live on pay-per-view. Weidman saw through all of Silver's tricks. Whooped his ass, broke his spirit. Showed him for a fraud he is. Man hasn't been the same ever since. Fuck, that's true. All the empty showboating, hollow taunting, drunk on his own Kool-Aid. Jesus, of course you idolize him, asshole. For a good minute, the goon silently looks down at the whimpering man at his feet, chewing his lower lip. When he finally speaks up, his voice betrays an intent to kill. You know what, homeboy? Screw the money. This is a matter of honor now. My thoughts exactly. Ha! He raises his fist. We got ourselves a mixed martial arts expert, huh? For your own sake, I hope you can back that talk with some self-defense skills, homie. Boosting your self-esteem by beating up an injured old geezer? God damn, you're pathetic. He jumps at the sound of my voice, turns my way in a blink of an eye, and immediately assumes a combat stance. His reflexes are sharp. Looks like he has at least this much to back up all his bravado. Wannabe Anderson Silva face betrays utter confusion upon seeing me. He's got no idea how I managed to sneak up on him. I don't blame him. I wouldn't be able to explain it myself. It felt like I became one with the darkness, my pure consciousness traversing a dusky dreamscape, jumping from one shadow to another as if they were different trains of thought. I think of some experiences I've had with psychedelics, every blink an adventure. I was outside of this alley, blink. I was above the alley, blink. Now I'm in front of the guy. And he pisses me off. The older man slumps down. Looks like he was trying his best to keep it together and gave up once the cavalry arrived. The goon regains his composure and barks at me in an overly gruff way. The hell you sneaking around here for, chica? Move along. This is between men. Not anymore. His fist turns towards me. I'm serious. And an equal opportunity ass kicker. I respond to the threat with the brightest, most innocent, virginal smile I can put on. So you're into shadowboxing, huh? Something comes over me. I can feel the darkness embracing me, whispering sweet nothings in my ear, pumping me up for what's to come. I've always wanted to try this. I zoom in, duck below his fist, and sweep him off his feet with a powerful roundhouse kick. It's probably the dumbest, flashiest thing I could have done, but I'm feeling more confident than ever. He flies into the air, only managing not to fall because of the wall behind him. I know what he's thinking. I should have blocked it, and he absolutely should have. But instead he just flailed his arms helplessly, as if he suddenly found himself in front of an oncoming train, a primal expression of fear that suddenly and completely took him over. I don't know how I look right now, but judging by his expression, my best guess is like the gaping maw of some primordial beast. I follow up the surprise attack with another punch to the solar plexus, or at least my nearest estimate. Once again, the effect terrifies even myself. Looks like my hunch was correct and I hit the right spot. He falls to the floor, whining like a wounded animal, tears streaming down his face. I let him collect himself a bit, and then grab him by his chin. Learn to choose your battles, homeboy. Let me go. For Christ's sake, just let me go. I kick him in the direction of the alley entrance. He staggers off, quickly disappearing from my sight. I check on his victim. Looks like he's conscious. Wow, you whipped his ass, girl. But hasn't noticed anything out of order. Good. I was getting worried I might have overdone it a bit. That woman did say that keeping a low profile will be crucial if I want to survive. You alright? You need help? He managed to stand up. His smile is strained, but it suggests he's fine. Or at least trying his best to seem fine. No, you gave me all the help I needed, and then some. Thank you, miss. What's your name? Jessica. Thanks, Jessica. I was worried for a second, but this asshole's bark was worse than his bite. He's probably in worse shape than me now. I guess that counts as a win. I better be going. My wife is probably worried sick, but before that, if there's anything I could do to repay you. Nah. Forget about it. Just be a little more careful in the future, alright? A true heroine always refuses compensation for her help. At least that's how I think things should go. Never thought I'd help someone in a street fight. There's something else, Jessica. You never wanted to try your skills in the octagon? Too much in love with my gorgeous face to see it bruised, battered, and swollen, sorry. I hear you. Whatever you do next, God bless you. And and there he goes. God, huh? I feel like one right now. No more worrying about being out after midnight. No more feeling uneasy whenever I spot a shady arsehole crossing the street. Ever. Hell, I could start jogging in Central Park after midnight now. Not that I need to. The future's looking bright. Wow, what a night. I watched Times Square from above. It's beautiful. Never thought this place could make me emotional, to be honest. Here I am, feeling deeply moved. Who would have thought? Getting up here was surprisingly easy, all things considered. Took more thought than physical effort. Earlier tonight I started experimenting with this body's limits. I realized I can jump over small buildings and climb steep walls with ease now, and my whole perception of space has shifted. I planned a scenic route across the rooftops. I did my best to avoid attracting attention, just as I was told, stayed in the shadows as much as humanly possible. I spot a drone from afar. For a second I feel uneasy, but remember what she told me. Machines won't get a clear view of me anymore. Camera footage, photos, it's all glitched out or blurry. Wouldn't take it for granted if I didn't try to catch my reflection earlier on. I couldn't see my face clearly, not in the mirror, not even in a puddle. My face was like one of Dali's clocks. She told me to keep a low profile regardless. Someone might take note and track you down. She didn't care to elaborate, but it didn't sound encouraging. Suddenly it hits me that I might never have been able to see my own face again. I won't even be able to take care of my looks by myself. And what about the long-term psychological effects? A knot of anxiety tightens in my stomach. Jesus, this is probably just the tip of the iceberg. What else is going to change? Calm down. Wait a second. These past few nights have been the best of my life for years. I was on a downward spiral, failing health, no future, a feeling of overwhelming powerlessness. Now everything has been flipped upside down, a total paradigm shift. A bad ending is no longer the only option. I'm actually looking forward to tomorrow. I forgot how that feels. Where it used to stand at mere seconds to midnight, the doomsday clock has been effectively turned off. A cold breeze brushes my cheek. As stupid as it sounds, I choose to read it as the world telling me to chin up. I can bend anyone to my will. I am capable of superhuman strength. I am a master of shadows. I can do anything. Tomorrow night, I will be introduced to my duties. If everything goes according to plan, I will become a New York City representative of Clan La Sombra. Whoever they are, whatever that means, I have no idea what to expect. But tonight is tonight. I'm free. All my worries from a month ago feel like they belong to someone else. Finally, things are looking up. March 2020. COVID's about to hit properly. Back at it again at Big Beat Burger. Familiar sounds, familiar smells, familiar faces. Yet again, I'm recalling that night when everything finally seemed to change for the better. I mean, it's not like I wasn't expecting everything to go back to the old depressing normal, even in the thick of it, the rational part of me recognized my state as temporary. But with these highs, there's always a hope it won't end, or maybe that an ego death will finally occur. Be satisfied, you stupid fucking bitch, I command you. Here's all the logical evidence for why you should be satisfied. Here's the obvious direction for your life, and here's a detailed explanation of how you should treat the people that care for you. No dice. I always fall back into the same old habits. It's like they're encoded deep in my DNA. The aimlessness, the powerlessness, the spiritual exhaustion, these goddamn fast food trips, the stupid fucking self-loathing, now amplified whenever I drink somebody's blood. Maybe I should just blame it all on the misfortune of my birth. You do the social climbing until you dissociate, and then you're just this untethered, constantly frustrated ball of desires. Dumb desires. Except I'm sort of immortal right now, and I need to figure out what to do next. I watched this obscure Asian movie once, Eli Lima Sabachani, something like that, starring Tadanobu Asano, one of the coolest guys in the world. He plays the Merzbow-like figure, a legendary noise musician. What the fuck? There's this mysterious virus spreading around the world, causing despair and mass suicides. Huh. COVID. Rich CEO's granddaughter gets sick and longs to die, so he spends a fortune searching for the cure. It turns out Asano and his friend, played by this violent onsen geisha guy, are travelling through Japan, searching the corpse-strewn towns and fields for any unique item that can produce beautiful sounds. As it turns out, the avant-garde walls of noise they create are able to heal the infected. The CEO begs the band to help, offering them all the money they want, but for some reason they refuse. Through a series of flashbacks, concerts, and vignettes, a mystery unfolds. Eventually, we realize that Asano's music is not just a remedy, it's also a cause of the virus. Whenever it connects with people, they get this hunger for more extreme, more novel experiences, and eventually they hit a wall. Nothing can satisfy them anymore. They lose their will to live. Not even the musicians are spared from this curse. They know the end will come sooner or later. The girl is saved by a mind-blowing concert, but the tragedy is merely postponed, not averted. The last shot of a Jesus like a son who's silently considering his role as saviour and destroyer stayed with me. The form of the film is abrasive, little to no narrative coherence, some weird cartoonish creative choices, the Japanese noise soundtrack, the very free-form and hard-to-understand weave of themes. But at this point, movies like this are all that truly connect with me. I'm the New York City representative of the La Sombra clan now, also known as the Night Clan. They are masters of shadows who cast distorted reflections and make modern tech go haywire in their presence. Last year, a few months before I was embraced, La Sombra had joined with the Camarilla, the biggest and most traditional sect in the vampire world. The two groups actually used to fight each other, but our leaders found some intel that made them reconsider their strategy, so they sent a diplomatic mission to parley with their historical enemies. The deal they got in Chicago was simple: an unlife for an unlife. For every La Sombra vampire allowed in the ivory tower, one La Sombra vampire has to meet their ultimate end. I still remember the name of the woman who met her final death so I could begin my unlife. Her name was Hester Reed, a sworn enemy of the Camarilla, a guerrilla fighter who spent decades opposing them. She was someone with far better principles than mine, from what I've gathered. Well, whoever she was, her execution by my sire served to convince the New York City elites to give us La Sombra a chance. Then they set out to look for a mutually agreed upon candidate who'd become the clan's rep in the city. My sire searched for someone who gave the impression she was more than she appeared. The local court was looking for someone they could walk all over. After long negotiations, they decided I was a good compromise. They proceeded to systematically destroy my entire life, just to make me show I was psychologically strong enough to join their ranks. The turncoat special, they called it. Somehow I succeeded, and it eventually led me right back to where I started. I stopped writing and I put my pen down. Will that be all? Yes, Miss Duval. I hope you enjoy your stay in London. I very much doubt I will, just like every cultured person. I think the only good Englishman is a dead Englishman. Must be nice travelling the world and all that. Caracas, Mogadishu, Shanghai, the blood tastes the same anywhere you go. The biggest difference is that your duties become more of a hassle. Miss Duval, every word you uttered tonight just made you more punchable. That'll be all. Tell Kadir I said hello and farewell. Safe travels. Don't let the door hit you in the vagina on the way out, psycho. Oh well, I'm the lone La Sombra in this town, and my representational role means jack shit. No title, no perks, no whatever. Right now I'm the court's gopher, doing all sorts of work nobody else will touch. My main duties? Being a sort of immigration officer. See, New York City is probably the biggest vampire travel hub in the USA, and definitely the biggest one on the East Coast. Almost every kindred arriving from Africa and Europe comes through here. The local Camarilla is nuts about bureaucracy and population control, so every vampire leaving or arriving in this town is supposed to check with me to inform me about their travels. Well, in theory at least. The VIPs play by the different rules. They take care of the stuff through connections and servants. But for the smaller fish, I'm like a vampire Statue of Liberty, the first bloodsucker every kindred coming to New York City should see, on paper anyway. The first, after the Prince or Kadir, the Primogen Council, these things vary. Yeah, I'm a naturally traitorous La Sombra, so they still prefer being traditional and hands-on about these things. As I said, at the end of the day, I'm just a gopher, and this work only serves to remind me I'm not quite in, just standing at the gate. I haven't even given me an office. I just meet everyone in public places such as coffee shops or this fast food restaurant. Some consider this an insult and lash out at me, but luckily most of them understand we're in the same boat. Only here because we're curs who need to be reminded of our place from time to time. Speaking of, my last client is 15 minutes late and I still have more errands to run tonight. This is getting irritating. To be honest, I should just find some self-respect and leave. But I won't. My sorry upbringing left me with this stupid sense of responsibility. 10 more minutes pass. Eventually, an unfamiliar woman appears by the door. She tells someone to stand by the door and walks in. I missed her face because it's clicking. Long chestnut hair, body stuck in her late teens. By the look of it, a fashionable scarf covering most of her face. Elegant clothes, dignified walk. I signal her to sit in front of me, trying my best not to let my impatience show. She obliges. Took your sweet ass time, huh? One day, and it will be a beautiful day, I will learn how to keep all this bitterness and stop getting in trouble. Sorry, Miss Sawinski, was it? This is not exactly the kind of place we expected. She's scanning her surroundings like we're at a circus. Man, this whole game is just this. I'm an hour in. I'm very ready to call it quits. I mean, the story isn't bad. It's just boring. This isn't a game. This is a book. And if I'm going to read a book, I'll read a fucking book. I hope you won't mind if I make it quick. I'm needed in Elysium. Name, Catherine Wise. Huh, I swear I've heard that name before. Someone else's description of her crosses my mind. That weird lady who owns the art hole, but is never there. Weird? So it is her, Catherine Wise, the owner of the art hole, de facto headquarters of the New York City Camarilla. For fuck's sake, Julia, what are you doing calling her weird right off the bat? God knows you've already made a fool of yourself in front of enough VIPs in this city. Recover. I'm sorry, it's just that I still don't know many people there, so I have to go by the descriptions I'm given by members of the Primogen. Well, the description is mostly correct, outside of that one word that slightly perplexes me. Pot calling the kettle black sounds like. Oh, from what I gathered, it's just that your interests are rumoured to be not fully aligned with the Camarillas, and it irks some folks up there. Being a keeper of the Elysium is not enough for some, I see. I suspect as much, but what can you do? She seems chill. Good. Anyway, Catherine Wise. Well, want me to spell it? People often have trouble getting it right. Forgive my indiscretion, it's just that people of your stature usually don't bother checking in with me. They usually report their arrival to one of the Primogen, and they make all the arrangements. I heard Prince Panhard is busy with the preparations for her big party. I assumed that if I spared her some paperwork, she'd appreciate it as a gesture of goodwill. Besides, I wanted to meet the infamous La Sombra representative out of sheer curiosity. My interest peaked once I heard about her. She looks around knowingly. Unique circumstances. Yeah, Prince Helene Panhard had trouble justifying the exorbitant rent my property would need. Interesting. It turns out women can be princes. That's literally pennies for her, and as far as I know, she's been sitting on an empty property since last year. It looks like they've got it out for you. Bad. That's what I assume, but it's nice to get a confirmation. Well, it's not like my clan has ever been particularly popular in these parts. At least that's what I've heard. Some of the fathers and so on. Yeah, just to make sure you've never met Hester, but you know of her. I do know I wouldn't be here if not for her. Have you two met? No, I only heard of her once or twice. We had similar outlooks on many issues, although we tended to come up with completely different solutions. In any case, I think it's meaningful that Hester died so that you could live. They feared her, now they fear you, and that's why they're keeping you down. If anyone who's not a VIP said this to me, I'd laugh in their face. Oh, I get what she's doing. She's trying to buy my favours. Best not to act like I'm easy to please. Stick to business. Time will tell. In the meantime, I'll need you to help me out with my documentation. Of course. So where are you coming from? Washington, D.C. She says it the way people in Hollywood movies say. The way that suggests her Washington is wildly different from the Washington you and I would see. What were you doing there? Take a guess. Government work? Write that down. It ought to amuse Helene a little bit. If you say so. Date and hour of arrival? She takes out a plane ticket and slides it towards me. It's all here. 1 a.m. Got it. Method of transit, plane. Purpose of visit, meeting with the prince. Ought to work out just fine. I guess. Estimated duration of visit? Undefined. Right in 6 months if you really need to. Place of accommodation, conditions of intended stay? The art hole. Conditions should be adequate. You tell me. I tend to be happy with Airbnb. Home sweet home? I'm not certain that I ever felt particularly at home here. That makes two of us. Curious, do you have nothing holding you here? The face of a blonde-haired friend appears in my mind's eye, then vanishes. Nothing holding me anywhere. I see. Prolonged silence. She stares into my eyes and I return the stare. She's studying me. It's unnerving, but I do my best not to turn away. Eventually she smiles. Didn't you say you were short on time? Oh god, yeah, Kadir will kill me. I quickly begin to collect my stuff from underneath the table. You can simply inform him I paid you a visit. He'll understand and he'll pass it on to everyone who should be in the know. I'll do that. Sure thing. Good. We'll see each other soon. I hope the party tomorrow night. I was not invited. She gives me a pitying look. I understand. Well, if not given the opportunity, we should make our own. I'll be in touch. Good night, Miss Wise. I wish you a pleasant stay. Good night, and don't rush these things. You've got your whole unlife ahead of you, and you're in a position where you can take it easy. Take your time. Get a different perspective. I nod and walk slowly out the door. When I lose sight of the restaurant, I sprint towards the subway. Slow night. I wish you're late again. By the way, I hope you have a good excuse.
Kadir al-Asmai, the mighty sheriff of New York City, is not happy with me. No wonder, I met him in front of Elysium 30 minutes later than the time we'd agreed on. Yeah, well, Catherine fucking Wise decided to arrive fashionably late. A likely story. She's supposed to be out of the city. If you think I'm pulling your leg, boss, feel free to check my report. I pass him all the official papers, the way I do every other night. Kadir stares me down for a good few seconds, then his steely gaze softens. You're serious? Wise? In McDonald's? With the mask and elegant clothes, surrounded by the smell of French fries and hamburger patties. That must have been one hell of a sight. Technically it was BBB, not McDonald's, but yeah. God, I made such a fool of myself. First thing I did, I quoted somebody calling her a weirdo. I wanted to die on the spot. Serves you right, you walking faux pas. I've been trying to teach you to control your tongue, but you never learn. It's a new gaffe every week with you. Still, there's good news and bad news. The good news is Catherine has a fondness for vampires of humble beginnings, probably why she decided to see you in your, shall we say, natural habitat. She's one of those rich art scene assholes who seek out working class cred. I did say something about watching your tongue. The bad news is she's very astute, so she can recognize a moron like you straight away. You never stood a chance at impressing her. Oh, shut up. You still need me for anything here, I'll get on it straight away. I wouldn't be standing out here chatting with you if I hadn't taken care of my duties. 30 minutes is all it took to finish preparations for the big party. I'm about to see everyone off. Sorry? It couldn't be helped, I suppose, and it's more your loss than mine. I just wanted some company tonight, and you could really use the chance to appear here on official duties, so everyone can get to know your face. Heaven knows your fast food job isn't going to get you anywhere. You need to, what do they call it, hustle. You don't need to tell me that, but it's not like being paraded for a bunch of blue-blooded douchebags is... He somehow managed to give me a painful nudge in the back without so much as a hint of visible movement. Language, you fool. They're coming out. Just stand here in silence for 5 minutes and focus on not embarrassing yourself any further, will you? Got it. The first two silhouettes appear in the doorway of the art hall. An old man in a wheelchair pushed forward by his young servant. Haven't seen either of them before. Mr. Payne, the night is still young. I hope you find the rest of it pleasant. Payne, the wheelchair. I've heard about him. Addison Payne, one of the American Camarilla's main connections to the government and Wall Street. Disabled in quite a few ways. Needs a servant to communicate. I'd be full of resentment if I was embraced in this condition, but apparently Payne is nothing but grateful for his immortality. He keeps writing fervent defences of the traditions and Camarilla customs. Stay silent. He wordlessly shakes Kadir's hand, but doesn't even deign to acknowledge me. At least his servant gives me a small bow. I return it, they leave. Kadir turns to the next person leaving. High Regent, can't wait to see you in your outfit. Spare me, Sheriff, these fancy dress parties cause me enough suffering without your help. I can only hope you haven't conspired with Helene to embarrass me with this gift. She points to a shrink-wrapped set of clothes she's carrying inside her coat. Kadir smirks briefly. I didn't have to. As you well know, Prince Panhard displays a considerable foresight in the matter of party planning. Yes, if there's one thing she's deathly serious about, it's frivolities. A recognisably mortal quality, especially for a prince. We ought to celebrate it, not oppose it. Don't worry, Sheriff, I'm a big girl who knows her etiquette. I'll play your game, amuse the crowd a little bit, and return to my study as fast as possible. Ailing Sturbridge, High Regent of the Chantry, of the Five Boroughs, a hero of the Battle of New York, the biggest warlock in town. Could be a prince herself if she didn't have her eyes on the bigger prize. And the thing is, nobody knows what that prize is. They only know it has something to do with the goal of her thaumaturgical research. Whoever tried to find out what it is failed violently. I'm sure you're going to have fun, Miss Sawinski here has just informed me Catherine Wise is back in town. It's safe to assume she will join our festivities. You're kidding me. It's not safe to assume, it's certain. She told me she'll be here tomorrow night. Weiss, excellent. I'd love to catch up with her. The barely concealed venom in her voice clearly suggests that in fact she'd hate to catch up with her. Yes, it looks like tomorrow night will be very special, but for now I bid you adieu. And she's gone. Is there some kind of story between Ailing and Wise that I should be aware of? You could say that. High Regent Sturbridge once attempted to call for a blood hunt on Wise. Wow, why? I've heard 5 different versions of the story, and all of them seem plausible. Catherine's relationship with this city is odd, to say the least, but hush for now. He's obviously trying to kill the conversation, and the appearance of Thomas Arturo gives him a perfect way out. Mr. Arturo! Ah, alasamai! Keep up the good work, eh? Of course, Thomas Arturo, an architect by trade. He's a herald, a member of Prince Panhard's inner circle, an eccentric who thought seemed to be 10 times faster than his words. Good night, Mr. Arturo. Ah, yes. He disappears into the night. Well, that was brief. Maybe I should stand in their way. Might force them to properly acknowledge my existence. You severely underestimate their dedication to ignoring whelps like you. And just in case you're serious, I beg of you don't. I've been meaning to ask you this for a while now, but never had the opportunity. You really hate Arturo's guts, don't you? He carefully measures his diplomatic response. I have no strong feelings about Thomas Arturo whatsoever. Yeah, well, considering you're always listing positives about every local Camarilla representative under the moon, you might as well have called him a cunt. Language, whelp. And as for Arturo, I'll share my opinion about him as soon as I come up with one that sticks for more than a week. A group of kindred emerges from the art hall, rushing toward the street. Only a noble-looking woman stops next to her. She's wearing a hijab, but curiously enough, doesn't hide her hair beneath it. Primogen. If you were rude enough to stare, you'd quickly notice the cloth serves mostly to cover up her horrifying scars. Kadir, oh, and young Julia. I'm doing my best not to stare because Samira is one of the few New York City Camarilla figures who hasn't been an asshole to me yet. Still here. Did the prince require the clan of the Hunt's counsel in some matter? Yes, I advised her that no matter how hard she tries, she shouldn't expect me to wear a different costume tomorrow night. She's the Banu Hakim Primogen. Just like the La Sombra, their clan was independent from the Camarilla until relatively recently. However, they negotiated a better deal than we did. They have a Primogen, for one. Hailing from the Middle East, the Banu Hakim are drawn to the practice of justice. The rules must be upheld and every transgression punished. They don't have much say in New York City, but the prince often seeks their judgment. It's just good PR. I trust she was understanding. Those are beautiful clothes. Thank you so much. I'm eager to see the outfit you came up with. And how are you, Julia? Have you seen any lights at the end of the tunnel? Same old, Samira. Still wandering in the dark, bumping my shin every 2 steps. Sorry to hear that. I trust you're pestering the prince and your superiors to improve your standing. It's a process. Julia, you won't achieve anything if you don't keep reaching for it. Kadir, weren't you supposed to teach her the ropes? I'm trying to, Primogen, but with this child, it's always a process. I can only wish you good luck then. Good night, Julia. Good night, Kadir. Good night. Have a safe trip. The art hall has to be almost empty by now. You like it, don't you? Stop with your class clown act, whelp. It only serves to reveal deep insecurities. Wow, that's harsh. It's factual. Where I is harsh, as you claim, she did tell us both to call her Samira, but you're still keeping your distance with that Primogen shit. Watch your profanity and don't project your fantasies onto me. I won't give you a lesson about professional boundaries, but I suspect the way you will eventually learn it will be extremely unpleasant. I immediately disliked this man's face. Carter Vander Weyden. Am I interrupting something, good folks? Even though I'm constantly pestering him, Kadir's composure is unshaken. His response comes swift and unfazed. Not at all, Mr. Vander Weyden. Heading back to your office? You know me, my dear sheriff. Where else would I go? Now that's curious. Even though Carter Vander Weyden is a Primogen as well, Mokavian, to be precise, I don't hear Kadir address him as such. Hope to see you tomorrow night. Oh, I will absolutely show up, provided I can. But just in case, I already apologize for not making it to the prince. Simply drowning in work these days. The rhythms, tempo, and intonation patterns of his voice are so familiar. Half of it sounds like JFK, the other half it sounds exactly like Barack Obama. Just like his appearance, it all feels so fake. He's old money, of course, comes from a long line of Dutch merchants who originally settled in the New York region, runs a wildly successful law office, rubs elbows with elites of both the kindred and kind varieties alike. He seems perfect in every way, and that's why he's so unnerving. He's a child of Malkav, and must be blighted with some affliction, but whatever it is, he doesn't let it show. Hard not to wonder what he's hiding. The celebrations are planned to last all week. Surely you will find the time? I pray I will, my good man. I pray I will. In case you need to reach me, you know where to find me. Have a good one. He doesn't even register my presence before leaving. Sometimes I think they're all still hoping I will simply go away. As Carter drives away in his limousine, Kadir shakes his head. You wanted to hear about which member of New York City's Camarilla I dislike the most? Yep. He shoots me a knowing glance and smirks. Ah, good. At least I got the same vibe as Kadir does. Too bad. They're all my dear colleagues and I deeply respect every single one of them. Sure you do. Wouldn't want you to blurt out something that could lock you out of Mr. Van der Weyden's legal servitors, would you ass kisser? I do expect to find myself in need of a good defense attorney when my broke, incompetent, and foul-mouthed assistant finally pushes me over the edge. Rude! Do you still need me here? I still need to swing by St. Patrick's tonight. Don't worry, we're almost done. The prince is coming out. The captain is the last person to leave the ship, huh? And there he is. There she is, Elaine Panhard, the big kahuna, as someone I once knew would call her. The de facto ruler of New York City, and a self-professed patron of the arts. Kader, sir, penny for your thoughts? You should be pleased to hear the High Regent is resigned to her fate, my prince. Mr. Van der Weyden is decidedly not. I suspect he'll be too busy to join the festivities all the week through. Excellent. She turns to me. Miss Zawinski, weren't you supposed to accompany our good sheriff in his duties tonight? There was an unexpected change of plans. Catherine Wise is back in the city. Catherine is here. Now that's a welcome surprise. What does it have to do with you, Miss Zawinski? It looked like she wanted to meet me and amuse herself by seeing the way I operate. If I can guilt trip her about my current standing, I absolutely will. Ah, so the two of you met in a fast food restaurant, my prince. I see. Helene rubs her eyes. Catherine and her love for proletarian amusement. I suppose it will be a source of amusing anecdotes this week. If we want to avoid these situations in the future, it might be a good time to discuss offering Miss Zawinski an office of her own. We'll get to it eventually. There are more pressing matters at hand. The festivities start tomorrow and there's still so much to be done. Will you make sure the art hole is secure before leaving? Certainly, my prince. Have a good night. Good night, Kadir. Good night, Miss Zawinski. We'll talk about your work soon. Don't worry. Of course. Good night, Miss... Prince Panhard. The chauffeur escorts her to a limo. There's an awkward silence between me and Kadir until the car disappears around the corner. More pressing matters, huh? A penny for your thoughts, Sheriff? I'm certain an image of a keeper of the Elysium stuck in a fast food restaurant will linger in Prince Panhard's mind. You're far closer to your goal than you were a few minutes ago. I'm pretty sure I've heard you say something to that effect a few times now. And I stand by my words. Rome wasn't built in a day, Julia. As a Camarilla loyalist, don't you think it sucks that the Ivory Tower is so hell-bent on showing disrespect to my clan? They're actually willing to make fools of themselves in the process. We've all had to endure our own hazing rituals, but yes, the current situation is not ideal. Whatever. You need a hand closing up the Elysium? I'll manage. It's getting late. Better run. Some shadow in Chicago is probably impatient to get a copy of the reports you've given me. You pleased one master, now it's time to please the other. Yeah. Here's the thing about working for two masters. Neither of them really thinks of you as their own. Not knowing how to reply, Kadir shrugs. I wave to him goodbye and head for the subway. When I reach St. Patrick's Cathedral, I'm greeted by a voice that grates on me like teeth on tinfoil. Benoit. Well, the prodigal daughter returns. Oh my god, no. This is the one thing I didn't want to happen. Julia, please, thou shalt not take the name of the... of the Lord thy God in vain. Where's the father, Leonard? His clergy duties keep him from getting here on time. He sent me to apologize in his name and keep you company for a few minutes. That's the second thing he ought to apologize for. He just wants his flock to live in unity. I am more than willing to oblige him. Why won't you? For the last time, I am not part of his flock. We have a purely professional arrangement. I know you see it that way. The Knight Clan's tendency to stick close to the Catholic Church is their greatest virtue, but they still consider this relationship purely instrumental. This is why we need kindred like you to bring the spiritual change to your clan. To make them understand God's precious gifts. The closer they get to the light, the greater their shadows will become. Are you fucking serious? You can't just steal a direct line from Kingdom Hearts? I'm gonna Google real quick. Just make sure that wasn't used anywhere else first. Yeah, fuck off. confirmed, yeah. Kingdom Hearts. I knew it was Kingdom Hearts, but I was wondering if it came from somewhere else first. And no, it does not. It is from Kingdom Hearts, and I dislike that they've used that so blatantly in this. It is a good quote, though. Again, with his insufferable sermonizing. Benoit Segal here is a local nut job and an ex-artist, a degenerate who had some sort of complete mental breakdown in the 90s. To recover, he took to religion for solace and guidance. At first, he proclaimed his readiness to devote the rest of his own life to studying Nordism. After a few years, though, he changed his mind and joined the Catholic Church instead. As luck would have it, his neophyte zeal found a major target in me. When I first met him, I was stupid enough to tell him I was raised Catholic and still identified as such. Somewhat. He immediately pictured me as some sort of a force for change with the Camarilla and set out to put me back on the righteous path. Now he won't stop preaching to me. Apparently he became a nun. Until I become a nun. Remember, the darkest place is directly beneath the candle. You turncoats have this unfortunate predisposition to find salvation right within your grasp and then lose your way in the shadows. Christ, once he starts, he just won't stop. I guess it's time to bring out the big guns. By the way, I was meant to ask, got any news about Sophie Langley? A painful grimace crosses his face but doesn't linger. Kind of rude to change the subject, you know? Rude? I'm just looking for a topic both sides of this conversation would care about. You know, like any guide on etiquette says you should. Salvation is a topic close to anyone's heart, whether they admit it or not, and it's pretty bold of you to assume I still care about Langley. I do not assume, I'm certain you do. The second she retires from the public eye, you stop acting like Yeezus-era Kanye and start acting like Jesus King-era Kanye. Coincidence? I've never had a Yeezus era. Do people really call it that? Here's how it's going to work. Tell me what you know. I'll tell you what they say, and keep in mind, I didn't know she was your sire until a few nights ago. Hell, I haven't even met her. He winces a little bit at me saying hell, but lets it go. Sure, I figure you'd have prodded that wound long ago if you knew, but what do you care anyway? Better let you drone on about your tormented past than let you carry on with your good missionary shtick. Professional curiosity, once a journalist, always a journalist. He scratches his head, then exhales in a sad mockery of a chuckle. Fine. Fine then. I'll do my best to make it short, just like you said. Sophie Langley, every New York kindred's beloved socialite, was my sire. We first met sometime after World War II. I left France right before the Nazis went around the Maginot Line. I struggled to keep my siblings alive with my art. Watched my brother die during the flu epidemic of '43. I was close to losing my mind. That's when she showed up. Said the sheer torment of my work caught her eye. She became my patron, allowed my talents to flourish, and supported me financially. Eventually, she embraced me. As a well-off kindred, my artistic interests started up to naturally deviate from what they used to be back when I was poor mortal upstart. I began to see the world the way her social circle does, and that she couldn't forgive. Instead of becoming a fun novelty, I became just another part of a malaise surrounding her. She grew distant and then stopped seeing me altogether. I've had my share of meltdowns because of this, I won't deny that. I locked myself out of many career opportunities, but it was an important lesson. Don't trust your elders. Vampirism affects them psychologically as well. If they take interest in you, they won't stop until they suck your soul dry and then discard you like a broken toy. For the first time since I've known him, Segal registers to me as something other than a Bible-thumping nuisance. Is it compassion I feel? Do I feel unrelatable? How dreadful. It's possible he's strategically trying to elicit sympathy. Maybe he heard about my dramatic exit from Lodestar. Or maybe he's just alluding to the way my sire left me here to fend for myself. It is only God who will never lead you astray. That is why I find your act so frustrating, Julia. You're so close to getting it, but you choose sin instead. There's the Benoit Segal I know. Almost had me fooled. Let's get back on track. What about Langley's disappearance from the city? Her path was a road to perdition. Wherever she ended up, I doubt she's too happy about it. She had plans for the future of the city, wanted to make her ultimate artwork. She was always the vain one. And of course, you're completely sure you have nothing to do with her disappearance. Please, don't tell me you're getting at what I think you're getting at. Everybody says you've been acting like you're trying to repent for something ever since her vanishing act, and you've got a motive. Of course I'm getting at what you think I'm getting at. Benoit shakes his head. You really have the devil in your heart, Julia, always testing me. Just asking what everyone's thinking. Are they now? Listen, I'm familiar with a lot of the insults attached to my name in the city. Those aren't exactly compatible with the image of a ruthless killer. Killer, huh? Now that's interesting. I haven't said anything about killing. He scrubs his hands over his forehead and collects himself before responding. Stop picking apart every word I say in this completely unpleasant way. Here's a statement if you really want one, Miss Hercule Poirot. Poirot? Poirot? I do believe Sophie, the way I knew her. Fuck this. Hurry up, I gotta go back to the top, cunt. I do believe Sophie, the way I knew her, has met her end. Even if she's still walking this earth, she wouldn't come back here as the same prideful aristocrat. She'd have to undergo a spiritual rebirth. Someone has reminded her of her place. Her former friends talk of her in hushed voices. Even that servant play toy of hers went missing. No more Camarilla parties. She's done for. Whatever happened to her, I don't know. I swear on Jesus and his sandals, I had nothing to do with it. But yes, I'm still here and she's not. And it's not a reason to gloat, but to be more humble. I received a sign from God, telling me to re-examine all the unfortunate ways I still resemble Sophie Langley. And I listened. I rejected the pride I shared with her. I renewed my vows to God, recommitted to preaching his greatness. I mean, this is why we're having this conversation in the first place. Right now, when I think of Langley's influence on my life, I'm grateful because she was the sign that got me here. And if God wills it, maybe one day you'll look at her the same way, Julia. Mental note, whenever he circles back to his preachy tone, it's time to intervene. Alright. If it makes you feel any better, I think that the only way a wimp like you could have hurt her was by boring her to death with Bible quotes. Now then, quid pro quo, tit for tat. You were saying people still talk about me. I was curious if... Oh, look who's finally here. Stalling for time worked. Father Leonard rushes in our direction, carrying a folder of documents under his arm. I assume it's the one I came here for. Father Leonard! Younger than I expected. Christ be praised, Julia. Yesterday I was told this is how priests greet their parishioners in Eastern Europe. Forever and ever, amen. Actually, I think we said each other's lines. Never mind. Another long night, isn't it taking a toll on you? No need to worry these days. I sleep a few hours a day. Short naps take care of the worst. And there's always work to be done. I apologise for being late. At least I managed to get here before you and Benoit went for each other's throats. Good, I was getting worried. Oh, who'd you take me for, Father? He takes you for a total bozo who's about as effective at converting people as a documentary about pedophilia in the Catholic Church. He's just too kind to say it out loud. Wow. Yeah, what I have to deal with, Father, don't worry. We'll make a saint of her yet. Forget saint for now. I'd settle for an adult in the room. Isn't that what you're for? I've been patient with that role, but by now you kids should be moving out, not leaving crayon marks on the walls and throwing food around anytime Daddy's not looking. So let's just focus on our grown-up duties, shall we, Julia? Here. He gives me a folder he was carrying with him and past the reports I wrote earlier tonight. Among kindred, it is common knowledge that the Catholic Church is one of the La Sombra's greatest assets. Hell, it might even be one of the main reasons the Camarilla is slowly warming up to the clan. We're technologically impaired and as such woefully unprepared to face the challenges of communicating in the 21st century. Hard to handle advanced encryption when you can't even unlock a smartphone. This is where the Vatican connections enter the picture. A web of priests scattered all around the world exchange our dispatches between each other, making sure they all reach the destinations in total secrecy. I was told not everyone in the Holy See is friendly to our kind, but the most shrewd and talented usually are. You should say they're like a mortal Camarilla, but better than any intelligence agency. Remember what happened to John Paul I when he attempted to uncover the workings of the Institute through the works of religion? Death after 33 days of papacy. Rumours of CIA and Masonic involvement. Not that Father Leonard has anything to do with any of this. For a Catholic priest, he's alright. He'd probably have made me stay a believer a few years longer than I did had I known him as a teenager. Leonard is intelligent, kind, helpful towards his parishioners, treats his superiors with a healthy dose of skepticism, and is not involved in any sort of political church games. Well, at least not beyond helping me contact my bosses in Chicago every other night or so. He knows about the kindred, and he knows about the Second Inquisition. He opted to avoid the latter in order to keep the former from oppression, because according to him, it's the right thing to do. I know there's got to be something wrong with him, some selfish motivation maybe, and I haven't nailed it down yet, but it doesn't feel like he's making an effort to hide it, so I'm giving him a pass. By the way, I hope you don't mind, I finally took the liberty of asking how your parents are doing. Thank you, Father, but you shouldn't have. Not a problem. A priest at St. Stanislao Kostka is a good friend. He says your parents started showing up every Sunday again. Front rows, your father is looking better and better. It makes me feel nothing, but I still give him a token nod for a grateful smile. Thank you, Father Leonard. Now, if you'll excuse me, the sunrise is almost here. Yes, be careful and God bless you. Amen. Goodbye, Julia. I'll let you off the hook this time, but next time you won't be so lucky, alright? Sure, just one more thing on my never-ending list of events I'm not looking forward to. Guess it's time to call it a night. I'm home. Dakota! That's an interesting turn. Finally, you doing alright? Fine, I guess. Why aren't you asleep? I figured it's finally time for me to become more of a night owl. We've talked about making our schedule sync better. What's your vitamin D? I'd kill to have your skin. You'd be ashamed to waste it. Shouldn't have smoked so much before you got bitten, sweetheart. I should have shared your skincare routine with me back when I was still breathing. I can't just be going around sharing my one secret weapon. It's top secret stuff, MK Ultra level. Jeffrey Epstein's current whereabouts level. I'd have to kill you if I told you. Okay then, love you too, hon. Come on, what's with the attitude? Nothing. I just thought we're beyond hiding secrets from each other. I guess I was wrong. Okay, I get it. I really do. Time out. You're not really mad, are you? Nah, it's just my inner asshole teasing you. Never mind. I feel a little more self-conscious than usual tonight. Don't. You want me to do your makeup before you go to sleep? No need. No need? Weren't you supposed to have some sort of big party tomorrow night? I wasn't involved in the backstage stuff. What makes you think I was invited? Because you're the coolest, cutest, and most all-around amazing person I know? That'd be insane not to put you on the shortlist. Time to scissor! Believe it or not, but most vampires are pretty insane. Interdimensionalism, psychic vampire level insane, because that's how crazy they'd have to be to ignore you like this. Yeah, I'd say so. Fuck them then. A big bunch of posh dicks. They hate you because they hate you, but they'll see. Heinous because they heinous. Jesus! How do you do it? Do what? You always assault me with so much of this weird, stupid positivity that I can't react to it without completely shifting my mental attitude. How do you do it? Oh, the answer is easy. You remember how I told you we have this spiritual connection? I can sense what you feel and what? You can sense what I feel too, if you really focus. Yeah, I think I called it a big load of bullshit. Said a girl who talked to ghosts, but watch this, Agent Scully. I sense you feeling down and I realized what you really needed to end this night. She points to one of her drawers. It's the one where she keeps her supply of... ketamine? Come on. What? No, wrong drawer. We're not meeting demons, we're meeting angels. MDMA. Ding, ding, ding. Took it half an hour ago. Perfect timing thanks to our spiritual connection. Ready to fly away? The mood isn't right. I'd need music. Got a special SoundCloud playlist ready to go. Prepared specifically to uplift one Julia Sawicki. Just give me a sign and I'll press play. Jesus, you're impossible. That's why you love me, I hope. I give up. Come here, let me have a taste of ya. Maybe this one time the high won't end. Right, so obviously her mate... Isn't that breaking one of the few rules that she got? She got her mate involved in this. Maybe this one time the high won't end. Rest. And with a rest, I'm gonna call it quits on this piece of shit game. I mean, it's okay. It's a good narrative. It's very well written. It is kind of interesting. It kept me somewhat engaged for an hour and a half, mostly because I was reading it out loud and I like the sound of my own voice. But I'm over it. Like, fuck me dead. Genuinely, it's like reading a book, except you can only read one line at a time and then you have to click to fucking unveil the next one, and I don't like it. The pictures add nothing, there's not much context. If I just had the lines, it'd be enough. Instead I get the lines and some cunt honking his horn in the background. It's okay. I mean, it's well written, it's a visual novel, but it's not for me. Anyway! What was I going to play? Song of Horror, isn't it? Alright, alright, alright. Episode 1, The Husher Mansion.
I'd hardly taken a step forward when I heard the door.
I've done this. 3 days later. Obviously I'm going to run in there with old Sophie first. Liked Sophie, she was good sort. Ex-girlfriend, still tries to save the man. She can't be all bad. Come on, Soph. Bring your aromatherapy candles. Let's get some mahi done. Alright, in we go. Spooky.
The door was open. Is there anybody home?
The frustrating thing... Hi, that mirror's not broken. It's going to be trying to find everything again. Note. Note. Blah 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 note. Apologies to anyone who's just tuning in and seeing me just skip through this like I actually don't give a shit. I do give a shit. It's just I've done it before. Ah, fucking oil and shit before I get in here.
Huh.
Matches. Fucking pissed.
There's something on the counter. Uh-huh.
This one is the cupboard. Good.
Uh-huh.
We'll shit the bed. I heard a noise.
What was that? I didn't hear anything in there. Mhm. Yes. Hmm.
Just keep your wits about you.
The phone. It sounded like a child. Is he in the house?
Now it's locked from the inside anyway.
Mm-mm.
Don't I have a key? Forget you have to actually use.
There's a note stuck on the safe.
Before I can do anything in here. Which means I need to get the screwdriver. I don't remember where the screwdriver is. I'll go into the obvious room for now. Confirmed this was the room I needed to go in because the screwdriver is right there.
Yes.
Shit yourself. I think this might be the first door sequence appears here.
Daniel, is that you?
Safe.
Oh God! What the hell
Listen.
just happened? What was pushing that door?
Yep, scary man's still in there. Don't go in that way. Hello? Safe. I suppose I can get the power going. Quick, easy fix. Oh, fucking written at the door. Just blindly walk through. It's way better. Fuck, is that what silence sounds like, or is that... Someone clearly moving upstairs. I'm not too worried about that. I'm all about just going to get the power going. Skip a bunch of steps if I can. Probably bite me in the ass later. Oh God, can I remember how this went? The one with that comes with 2 needs to be 25 amps. So it needs to be a 10. Okay, we start with the one with 3, but it has to be 50. So, fuck, I've done this before and I still struggle. 25, 15, and 10, which is literally this one, and this one. Which means, yeah, this one has to be the 20. And then for... Obviously you can't get 25, I have to get a 30 using that one, which goes up into the middle, which means the bottom right has to be 10. Which leaves me a 15 and 25. So to make the 25 amp, which is the one on the right there, you need the green and the red together and a 25. Easy clap. Ah! Fuck! Forgot. I need the rag, don't I, to clean up the water in the kitchen. That's what I get for trying to take shortcuts, I suppose. Why'd you turn around? Upstairs, love. Well, shit the bed. Where was the rag?
Mm-mm. Uh-huh. That room looks really dark.
Ah, right, no power. Scary picture? Lovely. Do not look at this photo. Ah. Jesus! Come on, self. Fucking blindly just opening doors, willy-nilly. Where am I going? Kitchen, kitchen. That's how you get his age. So the safe that I opened was the number on the street, the son's age, and then the year of a painting which I haven't even got found yet, which was I believe 1798 from memory. So 98. Oh dear. Nice safe closet to hide in. So power should be... I should be able to get power going now.
Finally. Daniel, if you're here, I'm going to find you.
Get the shits up here because there's a girl at the top of the stairs. Ree! What? Weird, why didn't that happen? Normally a girl at the stairs breaks the light. Weird. Haven't got the garage door remote yet, so that's not going to help me yet. Don't think. No, matches tinder. Right. I got the light though, so I can go in that room upstairs now. Fly, you fool.
I could hide here.
Go away, foul beast.
Was that for real? What the?
Dollhouse, need 5 dolls.
Bloody hell.
That was cool. I don't remember noticing that last time.
Huh.
He's gone. Attic, need the hook. Where's the garage door remote? Maybe it's on the table down there. It is indeed. I need to get some glue before I can open that door. May as well quickly sprint down the end. Can't remember anything relevant being here yet. Oh, listen through the door though. Jesus. No, I'm not going to get booted in the head. I just realized how that's relevant. So, there's an attic scene where you climb out the window and you get the option to choose which window you climb out. I just, by sheer dumb luck, chose the correct window last time. You can actually choose those other two and just plummet to your death, I think. Run away, little girl. Run away. Let down. Fuck. Skrrt. Cool. That's the first time I've seen one of those door scenes with a pull door. Need those for the spotlight upstairs. Should be some haikus in the back here.
Nope.
Oh. Yeah, there was a dog, but and it was outside, and then you hear the deathly scream, but you don't actually get to see it anywhere. I don't think I've got the key yet either. Actually, to get into the store. Safe to do so. Yeah, it's the old rusty key. Fuck. Where was that? Oh, yeah, of course. So I come outside, I get the jumper cables. Obvious answer here is go back inside, sort out the bad door, run in there. There'll be some glue. Come back outside. A lot of toing and froing. Got to have your wits about you. Where was that for? Fuck, there's a number of things that I'm probably just shooting past without really thinking about it. I have 2 dolls. I need to use the tongs to get something out of a toilet somewhere, but I can't remember where that is yet. Some bad man juju coming at me yet? Nope. This was a bathroom. Nope, that is the bedroom. Which one was the bathroom then? Next one. Oh, this one back here. This one is the bathroom. Is there a toilet in this one? No. Where was the toilet with the Scody shit in it? Maybe it's in here somewhere. Listen. Safe. Now, if I remember correctly, there's a obviously not safe door. Listen. Oh yeah. Simple as that, eh?
Really stinks in here.
Fair oofing. Use the tongs. You don't want to touch that fecal with your bare hands. Disgusting. I'll listen to this door just so you get a feel. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. Little girl crying? Nah. Chirp. Not another fearsome tape.
Mommy's really scared. I'm scared too. She's broken all the mirrors in the house.
Ah. Stop the tape. Basically, she breaks all the mirrors, makes everyone scared. Mum's a fucking psycho. So I got the glue. I can now go through the other door by making the key. What else do I have to do? It's probably about the extent of it currently. What else have I got new? Just the glue, and I got 3 dolls. Some glue on the ring, stick it to the key that's in the door. Easy clap. Yep. And off we go into the attic. It's hard to know in this game who you can and who you cannot talk to. As you'll see when we go into the attic, there's a little, obviously dead girl, but she's all good to talk to. And then you see obviously other dead people, and they are not all good to talk to, and you will just straight up die.
Huh. Done.
Oh shit, me!
Do something fast!
Mashing keys like just frantic as fuck. This is the poster you need to open the safe downstairs, which I've already got into. It says what decade, which frustrates me because when you look at this, the decade would be the 90s, right? What they actually want is the year, so the last 2. So 98 is the end of the code, which is triggering to say the least. See, and this is the importance of knowing where the scaffolding is. Should I go out this window? Dead. Fuck no, don't do that. Horrifying ghosty girl. This sort of shit normally results in death. Hello?
Hey, Julia? Are you okay? What is this? Mm-mm.
Just like that, she gone.
What? Where did she go?
That you do go out.
It's a good thing I'm not wearing high heels.
Into mommy's room.
Hello? Anybody there?
No. Hide under this table, though.
Yes. I don't get it. I just don't get any of this.
Where was that fucking big old rusty key I should have grabbed from somewhere?
Huh.
So what did I get from going out there? Fuck, what am I missing? What haven't I done? I need to get the key, but I just can't remember where it is. Swans. So sitting outside here somewhere. Doubt. I'm gonna check the bathroom again to ensure it's not in here. There's fucking nothing in there. How many dolls do I got? 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's the fifth fucking doll? Because that's right, the key is in the dollhouse. But I've missed a doll somewhere.
Run, run, run! That's over. Just horrific.
Is there a doll in the dollhouse, perhaps? No, I checked that, didn't I? Fuck. Frustrating. Attic, nothing in there. Nothing in there. Oh, I'll just go in here and see what I can do. Fuck's sake. Oh, I'm in the bathroom. Good old me. Where's the heartbeat rising from that? Did I get a doll in here somewhere? Why is that dark again? That's interesting. I'm sure that stayed like last time I did this. Fucking hell. Alright. Excuse me while I run around frantically trying to find a fifth fucking doll. No, don't. What are you doing? Is there one in this first bathroom? No, but the mirror is now shattered, which is interesting.
What is this? Don't just stand there.
Can't remember where to hide in this room.
Oh, thank God. Somebody's home now.
What's happening this time? Safe. Also safe. Where's the doll? Oh, a key. Oh no, no, my bad. I thought it was up there. No, the key's in the dollhouse, but I don't know where the fifth doll is. I must have missed it somewhere incredibly obvious. Oh, what is this? Oops, turned my light off. Is that why it got cold? Am I just a dumb fuck? How is it that I've done this before and I still just can't work it out? Oh yeah, we've done this about 1,000,000 times. I feel like I've opened and closed enough doors now that I'm going to trigger a response soon. Something horrific this way comes. Lights on down the end, it wasn't on before. Young pianist.
Huh.
And then I've got to get some fucking solvent. I feel like I would have seen a doll if there was one in here. Short. Oh shit, the bed! What the fuck was
Did I
that?
just see? Is this real?
That didn't happen last time. Pooed myself a little bit just then. Don't do stuff that's different, please. Poo myself. No, listen! Don't just run out the door blind. That's how you die. Doing dumb butt stuff like that. Always listen at the doors once you've heard a big fucking scary man. Okay, so somewhere in one of the incredibly obvious rooms I've missed a doll. I've got the one in the safe. I'm pretty sure I've got everything down there. It must be... It's got to be upstairs somewhere. It's not in that one. We've been in that one heaps. It's definitely not in this bathroom. I feel like I haven't been in this way enough. But it probably isn't in there because I mean there was one in the toilet. There's a key right there. I'm not looking for the fucking doll. The doll is in the next area. I've got to do a key first. This key. Fucking hell. Now we're going outside. Just so we can come back inside, but... That camera angle switch gets me every time. I hate to be being chased when that shit happens, and that one.
Sophie, get moving!
Fuck, I don't even know where to hide. I only know of one place. I don't think I'm going to get there in time.
I've got to get away!
Sprint! Camera angle switch got me. Get in that fucking cupboard, girl. Boogity boogity. Pull yourself together, man. Maybe now I'll get the little girl at the top of the stairs. No, it's not getting it this time. Weird.
Yes.
That's what I'm after. Yeah, I want to trigger the bad water. Okay, this is about where I got to before, and the game starts getting a bit fucked up. Like that door behind me. Ooh, I thought there was... It didn't trigger. There's a number of things that start happening here that aren't cool, man. Shower goes in the shower. Ugly goes down here. Guards the door. Nerdy goes in the book room. One of them's got a mouth, eh? Old mouth gets down here and eats the food, and old mate nose can smell the food she's cooking. Key. Goodness gracious, a key. This is where it gets a bit weird, because I've got the key, I've got what I require to progress, but I don't really know how to summon it. Basically from here on out there's a bunch of baddies that appear all over the place. Like that.
My God, what is that thing?
Does the old bird fly through the window in here? No. I'm pretty sure there was one in here. The bathroom on the wall. Oh, the bath.
So there's more than one. Yes.
Just thought, I don't think when I originally did this, I don't think I went back outside. Maybe that's the issue. It's weird. In my other playthrough, I got a bird like flew through that window and just about fucking killed me. But nothing this time.
It's opening! Do something fast!
Maybe running closer.
My God. Huh.
I mean, there's nowhere else I can go here. It's kind of pointless listening at the door because it just won't be out there. Or it fucking will. Excuse me? Gotta do it twice. Alright, so it's gone now. Safety first. Still not going in that room. No, nothing in this bathroom. I'm just gonna make sure I check everywhere this time to guarantee I successfully do this. So there's the one in the kitchen, definitely. And I haven't been outside or into the attic yet. That's both outside up here, nothing. And outside downstairs. Potentially even back down into the basement. Trigger all the bodies so that I can open the bad man door. Where else haven't I been? Did I go in the bathroom? I don't know what that is. I can't even hide under the table. That's not doing shit. Yeah, this is character number one. Weird.
Finally stopped.
There's so much shit that didn't happen last time happening as well. It shits me a little bit, eh? I'm up to the same point I was at last night, where I'm basically just finding all the corpses so that I can open that final door. Well, the big door. I don't know what happens after that, whether that's final or not. It would make sense for it to be final. weapons.
Be careful now.
There's nothing else out there. It's just the crackling in here.
Damn it.
I haven't been back in this end room. Safe. I hate that I have to check all these rooms again. This one constantly getting the lights turned off as well, which I'm not cool with. Alright, no one. Why's the light doing that thing? Don't fuck with me like that. There's no noise. Down we go.
Get moving.
Fuck, where do I go? Oh, is it?
I've got to find a hiding place.
I wonder why. It does say in my thing that I've got 6.2% dropped frames in here, so it's probably that. Bit worse than the usual. I normally get just under 1%. But
That was almost the end of me.
don't know what it is because it's probably just shit internet, to be honest. Don't touch the bag. very nearly... Oh, actually, I've got a few places on the other side. I still need to go. I wonder if it's whenever I talk or initiate voice randomly. No. I can light this now too. Hey, won't then? I'll just use it. Yeah, there you go. So 18785, just randomly then. Here we go. I'm dropping a bunch of frames right now. 120-ish, 130 frames just randomly dropped in that segment. And there. What's causing that shit? So I got nothing now. Looks all good. Hasn't dropped for a while. Looks all good. Open the door. Loading through. Nah, still all good. Still nothing. Oh, shit the bed. Still nothing. Oh, shit. Oh, that's to shut the door. Still nothing. So that's weird. So like, no frames dropped through that segment.
That was almost the end of me.
Which is definitely, it feels weird. Probably in here, something new will happen. No? Yep, there you go. So I wonder what that is. Is that loading the game, perhaps? Because it's actually loading something new. That's new too. Nothing. Aid us, save us, we are doomed, bound and slave to its desire. Help us make it, pull us through, toss the duckwood into fire. That is everywhere. Fuck, I hate that camera angle when you walk in here. So this is what killed me last time, right? You got the bad juju happening in here. Nice, good touch.
Huh.
There's one place I haven't been yet. Leave. When I come back in, I'll set off this alarm too, which should be good. Time to go. Nice. Number 4 Privet Drive. Do it, do it, do it! I wonder if I can take the dolls back out of this.
Why is it so cold? Freezing.
I don't know how to stop you freezing like that.
Oh, thank God.
Fucking. Are you fucking kidding me? At least I worked it out. It's toss the dark one in the fire. This ugly fucking doll. I can take it back. Finally, my fucking retard brain kicked in. I just didn't know what the dark one was this whole time. I thought that was how I killed the bad man. Go, go, go. All the way to the fire. Can't do anything. Let me use the fire.
Things stop shaking.
Those are kind of pointless sequences. I don't get it. Alright. Everything from here is new.
The fire was definitely the best place for that hideous thing.
So now, with any luck, the door will be open. This door was not here before.
But what on earth is that door doing there? Mm-mm. Yes. What?
Now it gets interesting, because this is where Daniel went. You come in, door shuts behind him,
Shit, what did I get myself into?
and locked him in here. And you run away, and theoretically this door will just be a wall now. Oh no. She can leave at any point, that's nice.
Help us, please!
They finally found me. I was feverish, dehydrated, and terrified. But alive. I don't remember much about the ride to the hospital, but I did mumble a few questions.
Shit, sorry, no audio. See how that does for the frames.
Grim song it played wouldn't stop hammering in my brain. I would even swear I'd seen it there on the table, on the other side of the mirror. No, impossible. There was no box. It was just a hallucination, a mirage.
A mirage.
I needed to rest, that was all. Just rest.
This isn't bad either. Bloody baby blue sugar-free V. Pretty tasty. I didn't actually look to see what they use. You got me. Nice, sucralose. So can't have it if you're fasting because it breaks the fast. Sweet. So I completed episode 1. That is nice. And that is where I'm going to end it. Nah, literally did what I did last time, except I chucked a thing in the fire and opened a door. We have yellow now. You fucking what? Like Lemon V's back. 2008 yellow. I remember right, that wasn't bad. I mean, it wasn't black V. It wasn't graphite, which is good too. Or that fucking, oh yeah, that tasty orange one. That was pretty good too. Oh, Monster. Oh, right. I'm pretty sure I've got Yellow Monster anyway. But cool, very cool that we've got that. If that is true, then I'm fucking psyched, because Yellow Monster is delicious as fuck. Straight up, I'll what am I doing tomorrow? Nah, I'm gonna the Tron. Fuck. I should review that, because that is on, man. That is probably my favorite energy drink at the moment. It tastes like Solo, if you've had that, which is the Aussie version of Lift, and it's just really tasty. Yeah, cool. Well, completed episode 1. I'll watch the little intro to episode 2 and then I'll cut it. Gotta sleep. Big day. That is the end of the Humble Bundle stream though. Actually, I'll wait. I'll talk some shit after this. Find out what the bad lady's doing to him.
Where am I?
Yeah, we did that.
Well, it appears as though the Prince of Slumber will be granting us an audience.
The Prince of
How are you
Slumber?
feeling, Your Highness?
I had a dream.
A little bit of voice acting takes
okay.
the game a long fucking way, man.
Thanks for coming, Lydia.
You had us all on tenterhooks. When I found you... My God, Daniel. I'm glad to see you awake.
Soph, I'm better. I'm fine. By the way, I found a note at the Husher house.
Daniel, the doctor said you need complete rest. Complete.
I'm fine. Really. I found this. Apparently, Husher received a music box from an acquaintance of his, a certain Mr. Faber. It seems as though he was researching the music box when he vanished. And from what Faber says, the music box may be related to everything that has happened.
I'm not sure we should stick our nose into this business after everything that's occurred.
She may be right, Daniel.
She may be right,
I'm sure the
Daniel.
police are very close to finding out where Husher is.
Do you think the police would have found me? We need to find Husher. I saw the box that Faber describes in this letter, but it wasn't really there. It was as if it were on the other side of... Oh. I think we should pay a visit to this Faber and ask him about the music box and Husher. He has a shop in the city, not far from here.
Daniel, please.
I'm fine, really. I think going to a shop and asking the owner a few questions falls within the range of what we can do, don't you?
Yes, man. Well, that's pretty funny because I've actually already got Pacific Punch and another shitty punch flavor. I nabbed them at some weird little dairy, and I've got a couple of rippers that I think Mighty Ape had for a little while in 12 packs from Mexico. And Ripper is on. I'm a huge fan of the Ripper. Oh, hold up. Wait one. Disregard. Yellow Ultra is the fucking on one. Ripper. Why do I think I've had Ripper? Wait out. Fucking just shuffle around my room a little bit. Got in here. Red. Ooh, what the fuck is it? Ooh, regular monster. Why? Yeah, boom. Alright, so... Oh, mate, the dairy. Where am I? Over there. Pacific Punch. Got that one. Got to give that a go. I've got Monster Mixed Punch as well from the same shop, so I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get that soon. And then Ripper. It's another juice one. It's okay. It's definitely not good. Neither of those are good. They're both fucking below mediocre, to be honest. Damn, you had me psyched that we were getting Ultra Yellow. That Ultra Yellow is fucking amazing. Ripper. Both the other juice ones are better. And the punch one just tastes like cherry, man. Every fucking punch flavour, they just overwhelm it with cherry. But oh well. It is what it is. Anyway, that is episode 1 of this done. I just did that on the end there. That vampire game was very well written and very interesting if you are into reading a shitload of dialogue, and that is it. It's effectively reading a book where every line you have to click to get the next part, and instead of just envisioning the scenarios, you kind of get a couple of images to help you along the way, and you get some wanker tooting the horn while you try and read. Like, it's okay. I definitely couldn't go any further through than I just did. An hour and a half was plenty, and I imagine I've just skimmed the surface. If it's your thing, it's your thing. It's certainly not mine. This game, fucking good. I'm going to keep carrying on with this in my own time, basically. I've also got to finish Tales of the Neon Sea. I'll play Deleveled occasionally when I need to make my fucking mind explode, because that game is good. Potentially could play Warhammer Chaosbane again, but in all honesty, Diablo's still better. It's okay. It's a one and done sort of game. Maybe I should give Ancestors another go as well. Other than that, the rest of this Humble Choice bundle, well, Minoria is great, but I finished it. Ambassador Fraction Timelines is fucking fantastic, and I finished it. Get that game. Just 100% get that game. If there's any game in this bundle you get, it's Ambassador Fraction Timelines. If you need a second one, it's this. But it's a very good bundle in my mind, and you've got 2 days left to grab it, so if you are going to grab it, grab it. Other than that, I'm going to fuck off. I will not be on for the weekend, and I won't be on Monday either. Ooh, nah, disregard. I will be on Monday. Fucking right, I'll be on Monday, and I'll start the Humble Choice bundle for February. I don't know what's going to be in that yet. Pretty exciting times ahead. I'll chuck a little picture up on the old YouTube so you get a tease of what could be in there. Perhaps if you have any preference of game for me to start on, throw it in a comment in there and we'll see what happens. Although it's only Frank in here, so Wowee. I'll just play whatever. Yeah, anyway. Off skis. Off I fuck, as they say.